You're listening to
The Mariety Show.
The Mariety Show.
The Mariety Show.
Feels good inside. Flip on the telly, wrestle with Jimmy. Something is bubbling behind my back. Silent and soul. Jimmy's mom is a whore.
That was Say It Ain't So by Billy Cobb, and this is the Mariety Show. We have, well, wait, I should probably introduce the guest first. I don't know how I've done it before, but I think I usually introduce myself first. Well, so here's Zag today, but I'm also Mariah. Zag, do you want to say hi?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm ZagTheWag.
Yeah, that's ZagTheWag.
How we doing?
Good. I'm already terrible at this. I say that every time I do it. I swear, every time I do an episode. Oh God, I don't know how to do it every time. It's all right. Let's just keep it moving, Mariah. Go, go, go. So yeah, I put this in the
You got
worst
this.
order ever because I don't know why I put the icebreaker above introducing yourself. But since I caught that before we started introducing you, where do you want to start? From when you were born? No, we could start from how we met, I guess. Do you? I could do it. I could say. Also, I'll
Okay.
start off. So Zag, Zag, he's a fellow official podcast fan, and I was like, "What up, Zag? I don't know who you are, but we're in this voice chat together, and we're prepping for the 400th episode." And Zag's like, "Oh my God, please, please, tell them." No, I'm just kidding. No, he was in there talking about his backstory, which we can get into. But I was like, well, I got some pull in here. So I was like, at Jackson, get this guy in. Like, he seems like a genuine guy. And so Zag was on the 400th episode.
That's
of the
actually
official
word for
podcast.
word what you said.
Did I? Yeah, that's why, because I
Mhm.
remember it and I said it right now. But yeah, so
Yes.
that was the first time I'd ever seen Zag, and I'm like, oh, this guy seems genuine, because everyone else in the official podcast server, it's like the same 5 people, and they're like always in there. So I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, a change of pace, and I was also like, this guy isn't obnoxious, and he's also like a normal dude, so it's like you were the perfect fit, because I was not about to like have some like or like you also weren't some like, you know, those random people who are like so obsessed, they're like, oh my God, sign my forehead through
Oh,
the
God.
screen. You weren't like that, so I thought it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. I remember that day really well. I came home from work and I remembered that the episode 400 was coming up, and I knew this was like directly, like maybe literally hours after I found out that Charlie had left the show.
Oh God.
And I used to be a patron back in like probably about 2021. I stopped being a patron for a long time. This is like way back in the old server days. And I joined because I wanted to be part of the live show because I knew it was going on that day. And so, Jackson, if you watch the episode of the official podcast that I was on, I explained how Jackson sent me money. He sent me $100 for
Oh,
a
shit.
game.
I
It
forgot
was
about that.
Yeah, it was
Sorry.
yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows, because back around then I used to go on Twitter a lot. I don't go on Twitter anymore because it's pure brain rot, but he posted something about Assassin's Creed, and my dad, who passed away in January of 23. My dad was like raised in Japan. He was an American, but he was raised in Japan, and he grew up, and he was like, Japanese culture was kind of like a big part of his life, and through that, it was part of my upbringing as well. It was a little cringe, but also really cool.
But he's like a
and my dad-
true like he wasn't like a weeb, like he was like Or weeaboo. I forget the difference
Yeah.
between or weeb is just short for weeaboo. Like he like actually lived there, so that's like a little bit different.
Yes. Yeah, no, he wasn't like the generic like anime obsessed neckbeard who just like liked Japanese culture through what they knew through fucking anime. No, he genuinely, like in the 1960s, he actually lived in Japan. From what I understand, like Japanese was his first language, I think, but that also doesn't make a lot of sense either. So I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, I can't ask him because he's fucking dead. But
Stop. But what did he have like a Japanese, like an American Japanese accent, and he's like talking like that, and you're
you
like,
know what's
Dad, what the
funny?
fuck?
Kinda.
Oh my
Kinda.
gosh.
So
did people think he was
my
just
dad
like
would-
acting like impersonating a Japanese American person sometimes? That'd be so fucked
Okay,
up.
so like my dad kind of had a little bit of a Steven Seagal thing going on a little bit. He wasn't like full of himself, but he definitely took things kind of a little bit too seriously. He was a fucking goofball. Super hyper intelligent person. Later found out he was on the spectrum, which made like perfect goddamn sense for him. But yeah, no,
Wait,
specifically
autism?
whenever yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
No, he was on the Japanese spectrum.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense actually. Duh.
No. No, yeah, so whenever he would my dad gave me all these fucking lectures growing up about a variety of different shit. And a lot of the time he would say certain things and he would have this weird like tone to his voice. And I later found out, well, kind of pieced it together because now this is just like hypothesis, but the way the Japanese is spoken is different than English. And just his enunciation of certain words and like how he would space them out and stuff, it kind of explained. I couldn't really replicate it because it's been ages, really. And usually when
like if he
he
said
would-
something like "Where's my snail?" like he would say
Yeah.
it differently. Never mind, I shouldn't have
Yeah.
said that.
no,
I don't know. I don't
specifically,
even
like-
know if I'm saying that. I don't know if you. I don't know if you got the meme. I should have just not said that. Fuck. I'll show you later.
I didn't get it. So
Oh, you did?
I that'll be news to me. No, I don't.
Oh, you
I have
didn't?
no idea what that
Oh,
is.
fuck. Oh, you're in
I don't know.
for something. Okay,
But
go
yeah.
ahead. Keep going. Sorry, the way he said certain things. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my
That
god.
and no, you're good. I'm rambling honestly, but
No, go
that
ahead.
and
This is
also
the
like
point.
growing up, he would say like just random Japanese words that were, hayaku, which is not how you would say it.
Oh,
you would
because
say
it's
hayaku.
Oh,
or,
because it's haiku.
Yeah, that's like no hayaku means
Oh.
fucking speed up. Essentially,
Never mind.
Like get going.
Wow, I
Or,
thought I
like,
was so smart.
He would answer the phone. He'd say mushi mushi, or
I heard that in a
matane,
terrace
or
house. Oh yeah, terrace house. Those are terrace house
Yeah.
words.
that's like mushi mushi is like how you answer the phone in Japanese. It's not like
It's not even
Hello.
hello. It's just like,
It's-
what's up, bitch?
yeah, it's essentially like
Like,
it's
talk to me. Like,
formal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Aw.
But yeah, he would say a lot of words like that. Oh my god. This made him a little bit of a fucking otaku. But he used to say baka a lot.
Oh no, yeah, that's like the first
Yeah.
one I kind of knew about where I'm like, okay guys, you gotta chill out. Imagine
Uh-huh.
like it's
Yeah.
I think it would be so if I just saw a grown man doing it that like I mean, I don't know if he like appeared as if he was on the spectrum or if it was like subtle, but like I don't know. I feel like if they figured out
Yeah.
later, they probably couldn't tell.
Yeah.
So if it
You
seemed
gotta
like
understand-
I don't like saying normal and not normal, but I guess like an average person
Yeah.
with nothing else going on, just saying like baka is like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, it's sus.
Silly.
It's weird. It's weird. It's 100% weird. Yeah. My dad didn't necessarily appear on the spectrum. unless you got him into an intense conversation about something he was passionate about. Like,
Aw.
I'm also on the spectrum. I kind of pick up on that. I didn't find... Hold on a second. I don't know if
Okay.
you can hear me still,
I can.
but I think my monitor just shut off.
Can you
So,
hear me?
technical difficulties, I apologize.
Can you hear me?
Or maybe my computer crashed.
Let me just type a message. I can hear you.
Mariah, if you can still hear me, message me on Discord.
I messaged you just now, bro.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened.
Can you hear me now?
I just had a serious, like... Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'll just do like 10 minutes, 13 seconds, so I can remember that. Okay. I'll remember that.
All right, we're back. So yeah, my dad didn't necessarily like appear on the spectrum. He's kind of like me, where it's like, they call it masking, I guess, where it's like I'm kind of socially awkward, and things go over my head, but I'm also like very verbose, and I can hold my own when it comes to like social interaction, but you get me started on shit like
Carl Weezer
fucking
voice.
Green Day, Weezer, fucking Plankton, fucking Xbox 360s, you know, shit like that.
Only those
Like-
things that you listed, nothing else.
Yeah.
Everyone go message Zag just one of the things he listed right now.
Yeah,
And you're like,
seriously.
oh, Xbox
if you,
360. I remember when those came out. I actually had 4.
I have 7.
No, my
Actually,
God, why do you have 7 Xbox 360s?
I have- don't worry about it. I'm about to have 8.
Bro. Oh yeah, this is.
Um,
Didn't you just send one off to Canada?
yes, I did.
Is that like the only Xbox 360 repairman
for-
out there these days?
Not repairman. Okay. So you're kind of poking a beehive here.
Oh, okay, never mind.
If you
It's
want
gonna
to
go
get
into
like
a
completely drowned,
whole. It's
yeah.
a whole lore. I mean, you
Let's
can,
just
or we
say-
could do that. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'll make it quick. For the audience, I'm getting my Xbox sent to Canada to get the processor replaced with a quote-unquote zero fuse processor. Those who know what that means know what it means.
So it won't
And
explode.
I'm getting it downgraded. Kinda. I'm getting it downgraded to the Blades dashboard. The Xbox people in the audience know how big of a deal that is. And
How
I'm
many
also getting it
Xbox people
J-tagged.
are gonna be watching me? Okay,
There's, like,
you
maybe
Xbox people,
one.
explain
Maybe
that in the
one.
description.
Yeah. Explain
love
what a
it, though.
JTAG is and a zero fuse CPU and whatever.
This is.
But
I
anyway,
didn't know there
I
was so much
realized that
Xbox
I got way
360
off track.
lures and modifications. It's okay. You're doing way better than Smiley Face Guy. I don't know if you heard that episode, but man, that guy goes. He does not know how to mask anything. He just keeps rambling.
But Smiley is fucking awesome.
And autistic, obviously.
Well, I'm autistic.
But I mean, like,
um,
okay, never mind. Anyway, love you, Smiley.
You're good.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
I
go
guess
ahead.
let me just wrap up real quick.
Yeah.
Because I got way off track. We were talking about how we met.
I mean, you could talk.
so
it,
anyway-
it can really go into anything. It doesn't matter. You talk about whatever you want.
Okay.
If we want to keep it on track, we can. Go ahead.
Fucking. Anyway, Jackson Clark sent me $100 to buy the new Assassin's Creed because my dad, being the Japanese white boy, he really wanted an Assassin's Creed game that took place in like ancient Japan, but he never got it because he did. So I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. My dad would have always wanted this. And something within Jackson's bones was just like, I need to send this boy, I'm old. I need to send this person $100 to buy this game. And then I wanted to thank him personally. And so I told the story in the voice chat of the show before it aired, because it was like a pre-voice chat before the 400 episode.
Oh yeah, that's
And then
also
people were like, "Oh, that's really cool."
yeah, that's also the same story where I'm like, well, first of all, I felt bad, and then second of all, I was also like, okay, this guy's like genuine. Like honestly, if you weren't telling that story, if you were just like shooting the shit and we're like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan, I probably wouldn't have cared that much.
Well, I wouldn't have wanted to go on the show if I didn't have a reason to go on the show. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because like, I don't want to. If I don't have anything to bring to the table, what's the point of having me there? You know what I mean? I just happen to be very lucky that I got on, and not only did I get on, but I'm gonna get a little sappy. I met a lot of really, really cool people through that, and through the OP, all the way to Kaya's server, and then eventually to Mariah's server, and then we just started shooting the shit, becoming friends. I eventually was like listening to your show, and I was like, I really like this show. And personally, like, my preference when it comes to content is not like super overinflated, like, oh, everybody listens to the fucking Joe Rogan or Kill Tony or shit like that. I like
God.
I really like tight knit like communities. It's my favorite thing. And so I became part of it. And then one day I'm just like, oh, I do music stuff. And I was like, yo, Mariah, let me make a song. And
I feel bad for the first project I tried to give you.
Oh,
It was literally me trying to tell Zag to, hey, can you recreate this like exactly? And it's just like the shitty AI How We Work jingle. And I'm like, okay, it's just, I don't know. And then I'm like, okay, instead of trying to like mimic, be original. And he gave me the best fucking fourth wall song ever, and I love it to death. I'm like, make it goofy or do it. Like, I really didn't care, but I think maybe you were asking for like some guidance, like you want anything special. I'm just like, I don't know, I just like goofy stuff, so you made it goofy, but it's so good.
I haven't put that much effort into a creative project in ages. Like, you know, I am a musician. I make music, but like, I find myself, especially, I moved very far away from my home state. I used to have a band, and then I had to move away, and then I'm still in contact with my old bandmates, but of course there's no way to make music, you know, collaboratively over Discord and shit like that. It just doesn't work out with time zones and shit like that. And then I had work, and 3 years went by, and I found myself, I'm just like, I have talent, I can't use it. So I had absolutely no incentive to make anything. And, you know, around the time that I became part of the community with the Mariety show,
this sounds so weird. Sorry. I've never heard anyone speak about my server and everything like that. So there's been also like a huge shift, well, first of all, in my life recently, and with the show, just because there's been so much crap going on. So like, yeah, it makes the most sense now for you to say that, but it doesn't feel right to me. It sounds so weird to me. I'm like, it's just my server for my podcast. That's it. Like, that's how I think of it.
Do that, but it is a community, though. It is. Like, it might be a tight-knit one, but it is one. It's the only server I'm active in.
Yeah, and I appreciate you being active in there, because, oh my gosh, like, especially for the last, like, couple weeks or month, I've been not in there. And I love talking to everyone, but it's just, like, meh. So I try to drop a meme in, or, like, whatever. Yeah, life. You know, they call it the quarter life crisis or whatever. It's like, what am I doing with my life? And then I like switch jobs and stuff. So I'm like, awesome. So I work at Amazon now.
I haven't yet Woo! Jeffrey Bezos.
I love Jeff. I mean, my name Jeff. Okay, that was stupid. But Yeah, no, I appreciate you making that, being in the community, being a fourth waller, and speaking
I
about.
forgot to give you money.
Oh, well, as far as I know, you did give me money because speaking about fourth wallers.
Hey, everybody, don't you know they gave Mariah money, now they're on the show. Let's hear all the fourth wallers' names. Hey, give her money.
Thank you so much for everyone who's a member. Someone even became a member. Like I haven't been posting anything. I love you guys so much. This is really awesome. But let's start by the base tier. Okay, we got some not Tommy C, some Duchess of New Jersey, and Senj. For our rare tier, we have Frosted 564, Big Eights, Matt Cat, Wag the Zag GF, and Calculator. And then for our holographic, our highest tier, we got Caps up in this bitch. Thanks, Caps. That's awesome. Like, I can't even believe anyone's holographic. I really appreciate it. You guys are so awesome. And thanks. Thank you. Let's get back to the show.
And thanks, Zag, for making that song that we just heard.
Yeah, absolutely. Give her
Again.
money right now.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. See,
Like,
that song
what the fuck are you gonna spend it on?
Well, so far, I don't even know what I've
I
spent.
wasn't asking you.
Wait, yeah. Nothing. I know but for me, I have saved 1/3 for taxes because I will have to pay taxes on it, which is annoying, but it's fine. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, you have to do a 1099, don't you?
Yeah, I've done that because I used to stream on Twitch, so yeah, I had to do that. That kind of sucked, and then I was like, I don't get any taxes. I have to pay. It sucked.
I used to. Unfortunately, I didn't pay my bill for DistroKid in time, but I used to have music on Spotify. And I did a cover of the most mysterious song on the internet. It was the first cover on Spotify. In
Is it
2019.
Everybody Knows That?
It got.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. No. It's the other one. It's the Like the Winds. That one.
Oh, I don't think I know that one. But you know which one I
was
was
like
talking
the
about,
first
huh?
most mysterious song. Oh, yeah, of course.
just
Ulterior Motives.
Oh, yeah. You know they found that one?
The porn
this year?
song.
Yes! Hell yeah. I don't know if we spoke
Yeah,
about
no.
that before. That's why I was let me ask.
I'm a big Lost Media guy.
What?
I did a song for El Supersonic Q back in 2018.
Duh!
He's
We
the
did
biggest...
speak about... Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so stupid. Okay, to be fair, that was a long time ago at this point. It was probably about a month ago. Wow.
More, most likely. It's October now.
forgot
That's
about
probably
that.
like early August.
Yeah.
I forgot about it too.
Okay. Well, now I feel really dumb because I literally remember going there and looking it up, and I'm like, bro, hey, that's Ags. Oh, okay. Sorry. So you made the song and put it on or you made a cover and put it on Spotify. God, I'm so stupid.
It got just shy of 1 million listens. When it got taken down, I think it had like 938.
Why did a cover get
like
taken down?
Because I didn't pay the fucking licensing bill.
But the $5 a
That's
year
it.
or whatever.
No, it was more than that because I did a lot of other covers and it added up.
What? I thought to put your music on Spotify was just $5 a year.
It is for DistroKid for me.
Wait,
my roommate is
I don't even
like
know what that
in the
is.
kitchen, so I apologize if you can hear that.
Tell him to shut it. What was his name again? Bonehead or something?
Chodester.
Oh, yeah, Chodester. Hey, Chodester, shut up in there. That was close.
He did not like that. He groans very hard in the background. So I guess you're going to have to bleep that.
I didn't hear it at all, so that's perfect. Oh, I hear him saying fuck or something, though.
Did you hear him cough?
Yeah, I thought he growled at you or something, though.
He did.
Oh no, don't let the Chodester do that to you. Anyway,
I had
wait,
to
what were we
file
talking
a
about?
1099
Oh, yeah.
for all those. What I was leading up to is what I think it was like 2020. I had to file a 1099 for my music,
Oh,
and I felt
okay.
like a total gangster because I was at the tax office with like my stepdad and like my fiance and like my sister-in-law, and she's like, "You have a 1099?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." And it was like I
The
think I made
fucking
$1,000
the
that year.
tax office. Oh my gosh, dude. I've just always done TurboTax, so like I probably
That
shouldn't
was the
say
one
that,
year I
but
didn't do TurboTax.
oh really? Like okay, well I've always done it online is what I should say. I went to like Credit
Yeah.
Karma one year and then like it was just a terrible experience. And I went back to TurboTax and they charge you all these extra fees. And then I keep saying, "Oh, next year
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a tax guy." But now I'm like I'm laughing just because I've never been in a tax office, but it just sounds so old school.
It is. Okay, so my tax lady actually like did her absolute best to like squeeze as much money from my tax returns as possible.
Oh.
This was early 2021 and she was like, "Did you donate to charity?" We're like, "No." She's like, "We're going to say that you did."
What?
And I ended up getting so much money on my tax returns that year and I used it to buy a car.
I need to go there.
That
What the
was
fuck? I
that was
don't
like
think
the first time in my life that I've had like more than 5 grand in savings.
I don't think I've ever gotten back more than $400, and the past 3 or 4 years I've had to pay. So I'm obviously
Yeah.
doing something wrong. Um,
The government took my tax returns this past year. They
the
took it.
damn government. Yeah, taxes
Yeah.
are. I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe that's why, like, since I'm using TurboTax, like, it sucks. But maybe I should actually just set an appointment next year and go see my tax guy. You just need to go there like one day, right? You don't need to go back and forth,
Yeah.
right?
It takes like at most maybe an hour.
Okay, yeah, because that's
And
how
it's
long it would
way
take me to do
easier.
it on TurboTax. Yeah, I just need all the paperwork, I guess.
I don't know about you, but I am like a really bad procrastinator and I usually end up filing my taxes at like April 12th, 13th, like
Oh my
days
God.
before the deadline.
Dude, like 2 years ago, I swear, this is why I hated TurboTax. Oh my God. It was like 2 years ago. I did it on time, and I don't know. There's like a screen that made it look like I submitted my tax return, and I never did. And so I looked at it like
Oh,
a
fuck.
year later, like when the next one was due, and like it hadn't submitted. I don't know what happened, but I didn't submit it for that one year. But luckily, it was like such a minimal amount I had to pay back because they charge you interest on the amount you have to pay back every month or whatever per diem when you don't pay. So it was already such a small amount. And then I only had to end up paying like $12 or something after like all that time. But I was so pissed at TurboTax because it seemed as if I submitted my freaking tax return, but I didn't. So like, what the heck?
Yeah. I don't like taxes. Like I don't like that it's such a pain. I don't give a shit. I already give the government so much of my fucking money. All right? I don't
Yeah.
care that I have to give them money. I just don't want it to be a pain in the ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And
I got too much shit going in my life.
they're doing a thing. I don't know if they started it last year or this year, but if you make under a certain amount, you can like use their online system. But it's still like they have like a specific thing straight through their website rather than going through a tax or like an accountant or whatever, or TurboTax or anything. But it's just so annoying. And also you have to like check specific boxes. So like if you do have a 1099, you can't do it. You have to like just have like straight up one job, one W-2, no other job changes. You have to make under a certain amount, and it's like very like straightforward to use the system, I think. And it's like, well, that sucks. So people that have like, have to work 3 or 4 jobs, or they have like other sources of income, can't use it. But yeah, I think TurboTax sucks. They charge you like fucking
So you have to
$70
stay
to
at
use
one job for like the entire year.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't remember if that was exactly it, but they had stipulations on who was allowed to use the actual IRS's like tax website, like the online free thing to file their taxes rather than going through a third party.
We're talking about taxes.
Yeah, I know. I literally just thought, oh my god, like we're just talking about tax. Okay. Well, we didn't do the icebreaker. If you wanted to do that, we went to a music festival recently, and we went to this place. It was like a biscuit place. That doesn't matter. But the point is that, you know, at Starbucks, they're like, what's your name? They write it down and they call your name. So this place, I was so confused because they didn't tell you what was going on. Then you go up to the cash register and they say, if you could be anything for Halloween, what would you be? I mean, that caught us off guard because we were about to order and we are like, okay. I was like, we'll be, I don't know. Nico said Godzilla. I said Buc-ee's or something because I like Buc-ee's. And then she completely ignored me and she only took down Nico's. And then I figured out after we started doing it was like it was them calling the name out. So it was actually pretty funny. They were like, Wonder Woman! And who else did they say that was funny? I don't know. It was like Wonder Woman, but like a guy came up and got the food. But it was probably for his wife. And then there were a couple of the same things, like Catwoman. I don't remember any of them at all. But that question, what about you? If you could be anything for Halloween, what would you be? And I just said Buc-ee's to her because that's what I'm going to be this year. Because I just got the red shirt and the red hat. But I can come up with something else because I do have a very specific costume that I have in mind.
That's tough for me because I don't think I've dressed up for Halloween in like 6 years. But I mean, I guess Plankton would be fitting because I can do the voice. You know what I mean?
That'd be awesome. Yeah. You could. They probably have a like Plankton outfit these days too. One of those inflatable things.
Yeah.
They have Fall Guys outfits.
Inflatable Plankton. Oh my god.
Yeah.
They have those Among Us ones too that are inflatable, right?
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, the better Fall Guys outfits were at the freaking in the kids section though. The adult Fall Guys outfits were just like the plain guys. The kids have the better ones. I was so annoyed. But you just say
Spirit Halloween is a different fucking vibe.
Is that the one owned by Spencer's? Is that
Does Spencer's own Spirit Halloween?
There's one they own. I don't really remember. Let me see. I put Spear Tit Halloween, but let's see what it says. Yeah, in 1999, Spencer's acquired it. So yes, they do own it. But
no shit.
Yeah, we were there the other day and I saw the Fall Guys outfits. I saw a sexy nun costume. But you're always going to have those sexy costumes, like sexy nurse and stuff like that.
Yeah. Sexy paraplegic, shit like that.
Yes, like really. They have some kind of funny ones. But if I could choose anything for Halloween, I've had this idea in my mind for like 1 or 2 years. And this is how the Mariety show started. So this may come to fruition and like, is that how I'm using that word? No, I don't know how to use it correctly. It may become a thing in like another couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay, good. My idea will come to fruition. That's exactly what I'm saying it right. But in probably a year or so, depending on how it goes. But my idea has been just the very, like a very generic, it's not a named character or anything, but a very generic wizard. Like, I want a velvet cape robe thing, and it has to be that dark blue, and then it has to be like the little stars and moons and stuff, and it has to be that really yellow, almost gold, I guess. And then the trim has to be yellow, and then like, I guess it may not be all stereotypical, but I want there to be like that dress or robe or something, or whatever underneath with like the arms that are all like the sleeves are long and like I don't know, you just look like a wizard, and then one of those huge staffs with an orb, and then of course a hat that matches your whole outfit where it's also velvet and it's very wizardy. I want that.
So you just want to be like a generic wizard?
Yes, like a very generic looking wizard. Not like Gan I don't know any other names. I was about to say Ganondorf.
Gandhi?
Is Gandalf a wizard? I don't even know.
Ganondorf.
That's Lord of the
Gandalf?
Rings.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah,
I'm thinking
I think
of.
so.
I think I'm getting confused though. Not like a Harry Potter like.
Wait.
Person. Not
Dumbledore?
Wait, I think I'm getting confused.
Like Merlin? Like just a generic.
Well, Merlin is
generic
kind of
fucking
generic,
wizard?
like Merlin from Shrek, right? Yeah, I kind of like his style actually.
Yeah.
Just kind of how Merlin looks, but not really Merlin because I want it to be longer, but kind of like the Merlin from Shrek. Longer dress. I want my shoes to even be cloth if I could do that. But I'll deal with some chanclas or whatever. But it's like perfect. Oh yeah, and of course the
Chanclas?
beard. Chancla. Yeah, like the Mexican shoes.
Wait, are those the wood things?
Oh, I thought they were. I guess they're just any sandal now that I'm thinking about it. Or now I'm thinking about it. Now that I'm looking at it.
Called...
I thought the like the mom chanclas were usually like those brown looking sandals. Yeah, oh, I could have clogs though for it. Yeah. Oh hell yeah. Yeah, give me some clogs.
Oh, okay. Okay, chancla is an actual word. That's like my new favorite fucking word. I did not know that was a thing.
You never heard that?
No.
Yeah,
No.
well, it's
No,
well,
I've never heard that.
It's like a Spanish thing because like the mom always throws the sandal at their kid or like hits them with it, and they're like, when Madre gets the chancla, and then I don't know, they like make memes out of it, like when she reaches for the chancla.
Ah, yeah, domestic abuse.
Yeah,
Gotta love it.
very great. Oh
When
yeah,
I hear chancla, I think of Big Chungus.
Big Chungus. Why? Speaking about that, there's what was that?
Oh, I gargled.
Why?
I had something in my throat.
Interesting.
We're good.
I don't want to
It's
know what
good.
it was.
People gargle. It's fine. It's like-
Anyway,
I just ate some like Chips Ahoy.
are you still playing Tony Hawk too?
No, that's
I was about to say that would have been disrespectful. But you can eat Chips Ahoy. It's fine. Just be careful with that gargling. It sounds a little gay. Okay, anyway, speaking about words that are weird, I don't know if you've heard this word, but we went on a, I don't know, like 2-day camping trip, and we had a friend of a friend, and he was talking, he was yapping, and he couldn't get off of this fucking word. I've never heard it, and I thought it was a fake word, but it's a real word. Boondoggle. Have you heard of the word boondoggle?
Boondoggle.
Yeah,
I
boondoggle.
have not heard the word boondoggle.
Boondoggle.
What's the definition of boondoggle?
Boondoggle. Boondoggle.
Oh, it's a project that is considered a waste of both time and money. So my Xbox 360s are a boondoggle.
Well, yes. But more specifically, what he was referencing are those, like, no, they're not like friendship bracelets, but I'm sure you see the photo on here. Like those plastic little wire, not like wire things, but those like flat plastic things that you like wove together and you put on your keychain when you were in school.
Yeah.
So yeah, this guy was calling him boondoggles. I'm like, he's like, you've never heard of boondoggle? I'm like, no, we didn't really call those anything. We just say, hey, can you start this for me? Like if you didn't know how to start it, because there's always the one person who's like really good at starting those. But he kept saying boondoggle, and I can't believe it's like an actual word. But it is funny how it It's an actual word to mean wasteful, like, and pointless. I saw it come up in a book I was reading recently, and I just had the craziest, like, boondoggle. Like, I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, that's another one to add.
I love words like that.
That one's so good, man. Boondoggle. I'm really gonna have to add that to my vocabulary, and it's hard. Like, for me, I'm the type of person. It's like, if I don't speak, like, simply, like, I'm not gonna go around throwing around fancy schmancy words, but it'd be so fucking funny if I just said that. Like, I don't even know how to use that word in a sentence, first of all, so I'll have to figure it out. But just change my vocabulary to
there's
the
a
silliest
word.
words.
I love that shit. Honestly, my entire family speaks like that. We find a word that sounds funny, and it's our entire life. There's this one product. Anybody who works at, like, an industrial, like, blue collar work, let's say a place that you would wear, like, hard hats and you move around a lot and you need electrolytes. A lot of times companies will provide drinks for you, like drink powder, and there's this one brand of drink powder, and it has the funniest fucking name I've ever heard in my life, and it has literally been like an active meme within my family for at least 3 years now, and it's essentially Gatorade powder, but it's called Squincher.
Ew, that sounds like something
yeah,
off of, like, Futurama.
Yeah, no, it does. Or, like, if you Google it, it's
I know, I'm looking at this.
SQWINCHER. It's literally called Squincher, and you can buy it from their website. Yeah.
What is this?
Squincher.
Oh my god, I love this drink. I need to buy Squinchers and just bring them to work. Oh my
Fuck
god.
it. I have so many.
I'll throw them
If
out
you
to the
want
Amazon
one,
employees. That'd be so fucking funny.
Well,
Bro, send me some Squinchers.
Yeah, you fucking. I have like an entire, like, I just, I come across them at different places that I happen to show up working for greenday.com.
Oh my
god. When I deliver my copies of American Idiot 20th anniversary edition to my customers, they usually have Squincher, and
holy fuck. Anyone need a squinch?
Yeah, no, that's literally what we call it.
No way.
Born to squinch. That we literally say, you want a squinch? That's not a joke. Like, well, it is. That we say, that's been within my vocabulary for fucking years now.
That is
I'm squinching.
I'm squinching.
Whenever we're drinking squinching, I'm squinching. Yeah.
Oh, that is so funny. Like,
and you know what's so great about it is that it's actually, it's pretty good too. Don't get the sugar version. The sugar version tastes like poopy ass. But if you have the sugar-free version, they have no calories. They have, like, less, like, sodium than like Gatorade or Powerade or Prime or any of that shit.
Supposed to have sodium
but
for the electrolytes.
They do have sodium, they just have less sodium. The point is like, you can get, I forget what the word is, but, like, essentially it's easy to get too much sodium in your body if you drink a lot of these. And the point is people who are in hard hats and fucking moving around girders and shit, they're gonna sweat. They're most likely gonna drink this shit like crazy. So the zero sugar Squincher, they come in tiny little packets. One of them will fill up a water bottle, and it's actually, like, it's good. You will get, like, a little queasy if you drink too much of it, but there was a point in time where I was drinking, like, a gallon of Squincher a day just because it was readily available.
Squincher. Does anyone Does anyone, like, double squinch, like, these zero sugar ones? They're like, nah, I'm just gonna do it, like, start off and then just, like, go one at a time. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'll double squinch sometimes. If I'm, like, really squinching for time, I'll put, like, 2 packets in one bottle and just be like, I am just dehydrated, I can tell, and I just need to squinch my body up real good. So
I could see
I'll
that.
get squinching.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta introduce these to my coworkers. They'd probably like it. If Amazon doesn't supply them already. I'm not really out on the floor that much, but you know, um, gotta show them the
I
squishes.
guarantee.
This is awesome.
I guarantee if it's an Amazon, then they have Squincher.
Oh yeah.
If it's a warehouse of any kind, their vendor will most likely deliver them Squincher, no matter who the vendor is. And yeah, so
This is awesome.
I guarantee, like, it's great.
Yeah, I've looked up 1,006.
I really encourage.
Oh, sorry, I was just saying 1,006 or $409.32, but that's about 40 cents per
Yes.
squinch. So, you could easily, you could raise the price to about a buck and make a 60-cent squinch profit off of that. So, if you wanted to.
So that's the thing, is like companies who sell to other companies, they're expensive. They're always going to be expensive because no matter how shitty the economy is, budgets for companies are always going to be massive. And especially when it comes to categories like safety, for places like Amazon or any warehouse really, like UPS, fucking FedEx, shit like that. Their public perception is really a big priority for them, especially Amazon. And so they pump cash like no one's fucking business into safety, and hydration is considered PPE, essentially, personal protective equipment. So being hydrated, having water on site and having electrolytes on site is considered personal protective equipment category. And so they have like they will drop a lot of money on stuff like this, and Squincher is inherently expensive, mostly because I don't think that you can buy Squincher directly from Squincher.com. I think they only sell to vendors like Amazon, Walmart, companies that will take a product, buy it, and then sell it. I don't think you can buy it straight from the factory, so that'll always be an upcharge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And right now, like, mine, first of all, it says out of stock where I'm at, and second of all, yeah, it's, you can't like just buy it from the website. You have to like find a specific spot to buy it. So yeah, you're right. Or like if the place even carries it nearby. But I think I see stuff like, this is hydratindepot.com. I guess Amazon has some,
Hydration
but
Depot.
I don't. This looks like a first-party Squincher store, so that may be legit. As long as you don't buy from a third party and they like lace your Squincher with something else, then you should be good, I guess. But yeah, it would always make sense, I guess, to just buy, be a company and buy a shit ton and then write it off or whatever they do, because I don't know how that works.
I don't necessarily know. It might be a write-off. I'm not sure how, like, the process of, like, internal companies, like, how their, like, finances actually are, like, leveled out when it comes to buying safety gear. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty, like, all major companies are going to have, like, a huge, budget for employee safety. Yeah, I would hope so, too.
Yeah, but, yeah, I guess it's just up to how they want to, I guess they see how much they make and then they base it off of that, and it's like, oh, we had 20 accidents this year of people falling in the in the furnace again, so let's get some let's invest more into that and take more out of our quality of production. I'm sure that's like just the gist of how those corporate conversations go. It must be.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we had someone fall
stuff like
into
fall
the gears.
protection too is a huge moneymaker.
Oh hell, I couldn't imagine people actually like working on the floor of those places, and they were some people are probably there like to get the workers' comp paycheck, or they're trying everything they can.
I can imagine.
There are some people who are actually.
Well, companies will do whatever.
Wait, what? I'm confused.
There's some people that are actually.
Wait, hello? I'm confused.
Okay, dead air. We're gonna
Okay, yeah,
We're
no,
gonna have
you
to edit
said
that out or
something, but it
something.
didn't really make sense to me. So I was like, wait, what?
I'm sorry. Again, I'm autistic. I'm awkward.
It's okay. I'll figure out if I want to leave it in or keep it out. Leave it out or keep it in later. Yeah, we're talking about a lot of work and taxes and stuff. Let's get into some fun stuff. I don't know. I think it's just
Yeah,
easy
let's
because
get goofy.
that's just all we know. Working with squinch and stuff like
Mhm.
that, squinching and stuff. But
Squinching every day.
yes,
Born to squinch.
we do be squinching. Oh fuck, I did have something about my new job at Amazon though. Yeah, I switched jobs, and
Yeah.
let me just say, all I wanted to say is my last setting, no one cussed as much as they do at my new job. I don't know if it's just because I'm at Amazon or what, but even the people on the more white collar side, they are cursing in front of everyone. I'm like, oof, you wouldn't catch me do it. Like I say hell, maybe damn. But I don't know. I'm just like, and also you can like show a tattoo. They're a little more lenient with some things because just my last job was just strict as it was, just the nature of the job. And I'm just like, this is wrong. This doesn't feel right to me. I don't know if I'll change though. I guess I'll see. I put customer service as number one, and my employees are my customers, so
Always.
it actually does make a difference, though. I mean, honestly, if I did want to stay at the company for a while and work my way up, I don't think it would be a good idea for me to go around cussing anyway. But man, some people are just I don't know.
It really depends. You know what I mean? Because like, I've been at my company and I love my job. My company takes care of me. Greenday.com,
Yes.
I'm very pampered over at greenday.com. I'm in the Weezer division. But
It's your division of GreenDay.com.
Yeah, saying ain't so. But like just from personal experience for being at my job for so long, at least it's the first job that I've had at a very long. I used to be a job hopper and I really couldn't find my place. Now I'm just like I literally blessed by my job. I could not be more happy with it.
Aww.
But like it depends on like where I'm at. But a lot of the time, you do have to modify your behavior depending on who you're like if you're with a customer that you can tell is a little bit more uptight, then you have to act professional, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is difficult for me in some ways because I am autistic, so like people will pick up on that and they'll be like, "Are you crazy?" And I'm like, "No, I'm retarded." And they're like, "Okay." But
Oh, that makes more sense.
yeah.
No.
But like when I'm delivering my copies of Saviors, the Green Day album that came out in January of 2023, a lot of people will be like really chill because a lot of the people who are receiving this product are not necessarily like higher up in the company. They are the people who are like, "Oh, we need this, so I'm gonna take it off your hands," and they'll level with me. And for me, like customer service is really important. If you just understand what your customers' needs are and you treat them like a human being. Like me personally, I would not be too successful in like really pushing sales. I used to work at T-Mobile
Oh,
for a
gosh.
very short period of time.
I was at a phone store the other day and I was like, I would
It's
hate
horrible,
working
man.
here.
Yeah, no, like I'm a very inherently kind and caring person. And all the time, some old people will come in. They fucking love me because old people like strapping young lads, I guess. And I'll just help them with their phone because like they come in and a lot of the time it's old people who are watching like adult content on their phone and they get a virus. But I'll just, they're coming in for tech support. They're not coming in to buy fucking iPhone 15, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I'll be pushed. They'll be like, "Oh, you got to sell this person an expensive ass phone." I'm like, "They're not going to buy it." no matter how nice and convincing I am. And a lot of the time, it's really fucking sleazy. Like, I don't give a shit about spilling these beans because it's a company I have absolutely no intention on ever working for anymore. But, like, when I was working at T-Mobile, all my coworkers, aside from one, were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I did work with this one guy. He was a total fucking prick. He drove an Audi.
Oh God.
He was an asshole. He was a total fucking asshole. I swear to God.
How do you
fuck
work
him.
at T-Mobile and drive an Audi? It must have been his parents or something.
Because he had parents. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. He had parents, and like I grew up in poverty, essentially. So I can't relate to someone who gets mommy and daddy money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this kid was the fucking epitome of mommy and daddy money. He
Oh,
pisses
God.
me off so much. Oh God. Piece of shit. Grotty, you were a piece of shit. You
Oh
were
my
mean.
God.
Everybody else was great.
Oh my God.
Zay, you were fine. I didn't have a problem with you. Coming into work drunk was a little strange,
Oh my
but you know what?
God.
You were a decent guy. You had my back for the most part. Sorry I left the company the way I did, but
T-Mobile, no.
Dylan, you were awesome. James, you were also
my
awesome.
God,
Congratulations on the new kid. You're
Jesus
great.
You're just naming everyone.
But yeah, Grotic, you were a fucking prick, and I really hope that you find a way to buy that duplex for $75K, and hopefully your parents cut you off from spending their money. And you
Yeah.
really shouldn't have harassed that person at UPS who didn't deliver your snowboarding jacket in time.
What?
You piece of shit.
What?
Yeah, at work.
What? Nice. I forgot what the original question or what we were talking about was.
I guess the
Customer
point I'm trying to
service.
say is like customer service. Yeah, like I know at my current job that my customers need their copy of Kerplunk released in 1991, originally on Lookout Records, then later re-released on Reprise after Lookout Records went under.
Yeah, and they
But,
made a board game about
You know,
that.
they need they need that album. And I feel good about being able to give them something that they legitimately need. And if I treat them like a human being, then they begin to like me and they begin to see me as a homie, and then I can come through to them. Like a majority of my customers I have on my phone. And at any point they can text me, even on a weekend, and just be like, Zag, dude, we really need 6 more copies of Insomniac 20th Anniversary Edition. And I'm like, perfect. All right. Brain stew all you want, buddy. Armitage Shanks, fucking Westbound Sign, Seward in the Avenue, my guy, fucking Green Day. Again, I work at the Weezer division, so primarily I'm talking about like In the
Yeah.
Garage and like, you know, the hash pipe, shit like that. But
Yeah.
I feel good about not being that kind of person, like not being just a sleazy salesman.
Yeah.
And if that's what's so fulfilling about my job is just like customer service will always breed sales, so I don't feel like you need to push sales. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I
At least
wanted
in-
to add like
yeah.
sales or like whatever skills that entailed into like into my I don't know, just into my life, because I feel like I would want to learn how to be a salesman for some reason, but to be fair, I guess being, you know, customer service oriented has helped a lot. I still feel like there could be some tactics I could use, like especially like if it's something like something I had a problem with before was like negotiating salary. I was just like kind of given, you know, if someone wanted to offer me something, I'll take it. But now I would feel more comfortable, like I don't know exactly how to, but I would feel more comfortable learning and trying to implement like a salary negotiation, especially too because I know a lot more now than I did like even a few years ago. But I feel like that would help in some, like for some reasons. But yeah, I mean, for the most part though, yeah, as you said, customer service like comes a long way, and you don't necessarily need to be a salesman. But also my thing too is I'm the kind of person where I'm like, yeah, it works well, but you know, not when it's like this or this, or when it's under the correct condition, you know. So that's something like I could also probably like fail out completely.
Yeah. You know, I guess it really depends on the field. Because, like, if you're offering something that's really inherently important for a company to maintain itself, then I feel like the necessity kind of makes it easier. But if you're someone who's selling a product that people don't need, like a cell phone, for example, then, like, well, I mean, people need a cell phone, but people don't need a $1,300 cell phone. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So, like, I think there's a guilt that comes along with that. At least for me, there was a guilt that came along with it. And just, the incentive to do good at your job and become more personable between people and knowing that you offer them something of legitimate value is, I think that makes it way easier, you know? Because I imagine, like, you working at Amazon, like, you know, you just fucking... Good. I don't know. The point I was trying to make was like if you know that what you're doing is a productive thing and it
Yeah.
aids a company, then the fulfillment is really like it's important. I didn't realize how important being fulfilled at my job was until I started having a job that was fulfilling.
Yeah.
And then I was like, holy shit. I actually, not only do I not dread going into work, I actually kind of enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like passionate about my job since fucking when, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I am.
That's
I'm
good,
very
though.
passionate about it.
It's really nice to feel good about your job and be at a place you like to be at. I don't know. I'm early in my career, so it's nice to get a change of, I guess, a change of scenery to see how other people do it, just because it's not good to be in the same spot. And it's
Yeah.
good to learn other people's way of doing things, which you don't have to change jobs for that all the time, but it's nice to when you can help implement things a different way rather than having to just follow what other people are doing, and you know, just the way
Oh
that
yeah, 100%.
that you agree with to work with would be nice. But besides that, let's get off of jobs.
That
This
freedom is huge.
This isn't how we work. This is how we do Halloween. So let's see. I wanted to ask, you said you were fine with speaking about Halloween. So I wanted to know, do you have like a favorite Halloween
Yes.
movie or tradition? I don't have any traditions. I don't know if anyone has Halloween traditions. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, like the fall is by far my favorite season. Like, I kind of, it's interesting. A lot of people have seasonal depression, and typically that comes around for like, you know, autumn and winter. But at least for me, it wasn't like this when I lived in a different part of the United States. But now that I live in the part of the US that I do now, it's completely swapped.
Were you in a sunny state
I
before?
actually
Like a state with like that wasn't really ever cold?
no, no. So okay, I can. This won't be a self-dox at all because it's a huge part of the U.S. But I'm initially from New England, which is the eastern side of the United States.
Isn't that shit small? That's one of those tiny little states up there.
New
Everyone,
England is like
everyone's
6
gonna
or
be able
7
to find
different states.
ZagTheWag in England. I mean, New England. Fuck.
New England is literally like 6 states. Like there's so many, and I don't live there anymore, and I have no intention on going back.
What
but,
does your internet history say about you?
I use a VPN. We're good.
All right, good. Anyway, okay, so you still
We're
live in
good.
New England.
My internet history is fucking Xboxes. Yeah, and so seasons in New England are very intense. So autumn is beautiful in New England. Like
is this like one of
you
the
go
movies?
up to
like it's actually like snowing in the winter. The leaves are actually falling in the autumn.
yeah,
It's like beautiful.
yeah, no. Autumn and like if you're like in like New York, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire in particular, Maine, like autumn is gorgeous. I encourage anybody.
Damn it.
If you want to take a really nice vacation, go to like go to like, I don't know, like fucking Lake George in New Hampshire, or I think that might be New York. But like in the autumn time,
Like
and
George
you'll have
Floyd.
way better of a time than going to like, yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, and you can breathe when you're there too.
Oh my gosh.
Because
I shouldn't have said
you'll
that.
be
Never
in the
mind.
woods and there's plenty.
Yeah, why did you have to say
But-
all those states now? I'm gonna have to add those to my list to like visit during fall or winter, I guess, because
For sure. No, it's gorgeous. What are you? Do you not have like four seasons where you are?
are you joking? Like literally anywhere that's not any of those states, I feel like is usually just like, and you hear it all the time down here in the South. They're like, you never know how the weather's gonna be, and it's not. Everyone in the different cities says the same exact thing. They think they're all special, but they're not. It's the same everywhere. They're like, I don't know, it could be raining tomorrow. It's rain, it's sunshine, and it's humid. That's really it. We don't get winter.
So you don't
we
get
don't
a lot
get.
of.
I'm sorry. We don't get any like. The leaves fall, but it's like they're there one day and they're on the ground the next day. It's not like, oh, we see the beautiful colors
Yeah.
and stuff. And the spring isn't like, oh, everything's blooming, because a lot of the areas like swampy, or I don't know, we don't have a lot of beautiful landscaping or natural flowers or anything. Like it's all over the place. It sucks.
Man, that must suck.
It does.
Yeah, I went from one absolutely gorgeous part of the United States to another absolutely gorgeous part of the United States.
See, you're gonna have to list all the good places, because
I
I'm
apologize.
like, I need to make the move. Except the one thing though, is what I love about the South. I love the North because it snows, but I love the South because I don't have to shovel snow. So.
Well, if you live where I live now, you don't have to worry about shoveling snow either.
What?
So, yeah, we don't get winters where I live currently, and I won't say where in the United States I am,
But
I will say
do you
I
get
am
snow?
not. Very rarely.
Okay, well that sucks though. I mean, I'm saying
Um,
like I want a place where like it'll snow,
It
but I
does
don't have to
suck.
shovel it. But that'll never be the case. Also, I don't want to have to put that thing on my car before
So-
you have to figure out it snows and then you
Yeah.
lift it up. Like I don't want to have
When
to
it
do all that.
snows here, it's very light. So I'll tell you, like, I'll just give you a general idea, because I know I told you where I'm currently residing.
Yeah.
The type of weather that we get
Paris,
out
Texas.
here is Paris, Texas. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all the way in
That's a
fucking.
real place.
I'm way south.
That's where he lives. The
Is
real-
it? So
real
is Ben
place.
Wheeler, Texas.
Ben
I actually
Wheeler?
live in
Who's
Ben
that?
Wheeler, Texas.
What about
Yeah.
Bendover, Texas?
Um,
It's-
Bend over.
Anyway, so you get a light little dusting of snow.
What?
Places in Texas do get snow.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. But so yeah, I guess the point I was trying to make is I used to be really depressed in the wintertime in the East Coast, because essentially you have piles of snow from November all the way up to April, and they just snow initially when it falls and it's heavy, it's gorgeous, but after a while it gets slushy and disgusting and it just makes you so sad.
I've seen
but
that gross snow.
Out here, yeah, it's gross. Out here, I actually am way more depressed in the summertime, because summer, it's like, so we're supposed to be the rainiest part of the United States. And we do get rain pretty much almost every day. Not currently, but from like November all the way to like springtime, we will have like months upon months of rain. That's essentially all of what winter is for us. It's just rain. And it's great because I absolutely adore rain. It does not make me sad like a lot of people does. Overcast days don't make me sad at all. I don't have to take vitamin D or anything like that. So I'm a lot more happy because autumn has always been my favorite time of the year. And just the vibes, like
Sorry,
October through
it
December.
was hard to wrap my head around the vitamin D thing and stuff, because I've heard of that, like people like in Alaska or something,
there are times where they never get light.
Oh,
They
it's
need
real.
vitamin D. I don't know. It just it doesn't feel normal to me. So I'm just like trying to absorb and listen, and it's like taking me a second to register.
No, you're good. That's something I had to do on the East Coast is I needed to take vitamin D or else I was dismal. Nowadays, I get too much of it in the summertime. I don't know, I don't feel like going out in the summer anymore. Nowadays, I like to stay in during the summer and I go out during the fall and winter because it's rainy and it's cool. It's sweater weather, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm the happiest. October all the way through December, my favorite time to be alive because I'm a big holiday person. I love Halloween. I fucking love Thanksgiving. Christmas I love. I didn't grow up like religious, but Christmas was always a thing in my family.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's just like, it's always a really big, like, heartfelt time, a really family-oriented person. And just being able to carve pumpkins, have fucking pumpkin pie. My stepdad always loves to watch the Peanuts specials, like the Great Pumpkin, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, that is Halloween for me. That and also eating candy, of course, because when else are you gonna fucking eat candy as an adult? Unless you're like diabetic, in which case you gotta change your life choices. But
Rip. Yeah, but that's
it's just like, I'm so happy.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
Like-
I've like only the past couple of years I've started to not hate like the end of the year. The end of the years
Mhm.
and the holidays. I love seeing family and stuff, and I was always happy, but I always felt like crap. But I was in
Yeah.
the situation. Well, I was also in the situation I think where I was in high school and I didn't get out much, and I didn't like have like I don't know. I just was kind of in high school. You know, you don't do much, and then just the holidays come up,
Yeah.
and now it's like, oh, now you can't get as much sunlight, and it sucks. So I already didn't get sunlight, so I assume that's it. I mean, like something like that, but it's only flipped recently, and I've loved the holidays, which is kind of funny because now I don't even live near my family, but I love this time of the year more, and I don't know if like I appreciate it or I'm getting older. I know I've like gained weight, and so I definitely love the coldness more because I can handle 70 degrees better now than I could 30 pounds ago, because I was like freezing my ass off
I'm sorry,
before.
did you just say 70 degrees and cold in the same sentence?
Well, yeah, when I was 30 pounds lighter, then yeah, it was very cold. But now it's nice. I could go out there maybe without a jacket on, and I would be shivering in 70-degree weather like 6 years ago.
How cold? Like, is that the coldest it gets?
I mean, it's like this week, it's been like 50s, 60s. And I need it. I definitely need a jacket on for that. I couldn't go short sleeves. But I'm just saying like yeah. I mean, I'm used to the warmth. But if it was like 6 years ago, I would have been like having to layer up a lot for 50s and 60s. But I can just wear like a little puffer jacket. Like I don't really need much protection anywhere else or anything. But now we're getting to 40s. Oh, we're gonna need to add some layers. That is a lot.
Yeah.
Or not a lot.
You know, I prefer the cold. Quite frankly, I like jackets. It's just a comfort thing for me, I guess. It also probably has to do with my upbringing because I'm from, I'm from New England, so like, we're talking November through April. You're lucky if it gets over 35 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, that's a
lot of the
little
time
cold.
through the winter. No, it's a very winter seasons in New England are extreme. No matter the
you
summers
guys-
are extremely humid and hot.
You guys don't get you guys would get, I don't know, we get a lot of wind over here too, though.
Yeah, well, you see, the thing is about the landscape, it's windier where I live because it's flat-ish out here. It's very mountainous. I could go an hour north and I'm gonna land at one of the biggest mountains in the entire United States. I live in a mountainous area, but it's also very flat. In New England, where I'm from, we would be surrounded by trees at all times. Like, one of my brothers, he went down to Texas, maybe about like 8 or 9 years ago, and he never moved away. He just, he went to Texas for a little bit just for the life experience. And Texas is very flat. And he never experienced anything like that. So open skies for him actually like made him afraid. It was like a bit of a phobia for him. I've been throughout the United States. I spent some time in Tennessee. So I understand what flatland is like, and I understand like the open skies. And there's a lot of places out where I live that are like that. So not surrounded by trees. So because there's none of that protection, it's more windy out here. But we don't get stuff like thunderstorms where I live. In New England, you get like Hurricane Sandy, for example, that hit New York, that hit us too in New England. We had a lot of really heavy storms. All weather in New England is going to be super extreme. Like I said, summer's extremely hot and humid. We're talking like it feels like fucking California, like Southern California. Except it's a wet heat. It's not a dry heat.
Oh wait, I love
and then like
wet
winters.
Heat because I've never gotten a nosebleed, and I think that's just from being in the South and it's always humid and gross.
Yeah, I live in a dry heat area now in the summer, and I get nosebleeds chronically. It's actually
I was
really concerning.
I was up in the north, the dry north, or wherever, like in. It was Idaho, but I don't really know where it was at. But anyway, it was like
Idaho?
We were. Is that dry? I thought it was dry.
Yeah, absolutely. Idaho's Pacific Northwest, technically.
Okay, yeah.
So,
we went there, and like
Yeah.
we wanted to see snow, so that's why we went there. And I don't know how long we were there. A week. Oh my god, dude, my nose was chapped. And I wasn't even like, my nose wasn't running. Usually my nose gets chapped when it's running and stuff, but my lips were dry and my nose was chapped. And it's just because it was so dry, and I was like, I need to get back down to South right now. I can't handle this anymore. Like, it was so dry. I don't know how anyone could live there. And I didn't have a nosebleed, and I still have never had a nosebleed, but I was really thinking I was going to get one. I'm like, I was afraid to like go to sleep and like wake up with like randomly with blood in my mouth. Like I've never had a nosebleed, so I don't know how it works, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing that I really appreciate about living where I live now, I don't know how it is in the South. Like I said, I've been to Tennessee. That's the most southern I've been was Central Tennessee. So I can't remember if I had allergies when I was there, but allergies, like, I guess there's maybe just the frequency of trees is probably what causes it in New England, but allergies are horrible for me in New England. See, where I'm at, we just have pine trees. We have normal trees, but it's green year round because there's so much pine. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think.
So I'm not
like,
allergic
they don't
to
shed
pine trees.
leaves.
So they don't shed leaves, but they do. Pine needles are a thing. So like when I first moved here, I would fucking track them in, and I'd get them stuck in my foot. I'm like, what is this? It felt like I was stepping on Legos or some shit. But pine needles, they drop. But yeah, no, I haven't visited the East Coast since last October, but every time that I've gone back, I've had horrible allergies, and it's been literally torturous because if I'm congested, I'm not in a good mood. I need to be able to breathe out of my nose. You know what I mean? out here, I don't think I've once ever gotten allergies. I also get sick much less often here too. There's something
the
just
dry,
cleaner
right?
about the air. Yeah,
Sorry,
exactly.
I was just making sure. I was getting a little confused because I started looking at pine trees after you said that.
No, it's all good.
I was like, wait,
Yeah,
I want to make sure
it's-
I'm thinking about the right tree. I'm not
Yeah.
really that good with the outdoors.
it Christmas tree. Like the pine trees are Christmas trees essentially. I'm surrounded by Christmas trees.
I was thinking that, but I wasn't exactly sure. So I was like, wait a minute. I also haven't seen a real
Yeah.
Christmas tree in
Yeah.
a long time. But okay, so drier
really
may
get
be better
snow
for
out here, though.
allergies. Yeah, I think when I was up there, I
Most
didn't
likely.
feel like, because yeah, there's no. I guess if there's pine trees, they wouldn't really have. I don't even know where the pollen comes from, like flowers or stuff, something like that. But the pollen count is
Yeah.
like high as fuck here, like all the time for some reason, and then it's even higher during the fucking.
Yeah, I'd be struggling.
Yeah, I'd never felt like I had like normal allergies before a few years ago. I think my body's just been changing because I've been getting like hot and old, like I'm like 70 degrees. Oh, it's cool. I can go out without a jacket now, and now I'm actually suffering from like the seasonal allergies. I'm like, I'm weak. I hate it. But yeah, it sucks. Like you'll just have to be prepared. Like my preparation is like, okay, that Mucinex all-in-one. I don't know if you've seen that white bottle with like a shit ton of stuff listed on it. Like it'll cover against headaches and
Yeah,
this,
is that the one that you spray in your nose?
No, but sometimes I get that because it feels good. And then I get a tub like of
Do you know that you can get
Vaseline.
high off that stuff?
What?
Yeah, it's happened to me.
Wow, I didn't know that. Well, yeah, because
You
isn't
can
that the
get
stuff
high
you
off
put
of
in
nasal
there
spray.
and you have to wait for like 3 seconds and then you can blow it or something?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
subtle.
Zicam.
You can actually also get addicted to it. Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me that. I'm gonna go look it up.
It-
Look at it when we get off the...
Maybe it's not necessarily an addiction, more like a dependence, but it's if you take it too often, your body will automatically adapt to it so that you will always be congested unless you spray it. You know what I mean?
That's scary.
Um,
Okay, never mind. don't
So I
wanna
guess
do it.
like, yeah. Yeah.
It's just
No,
crazy.
you really don't. Like,
Is that what people
And
do
it's
with
not
those
like you
little
can't
menthol
get-
sticks too that they shove up their nose? Those feel good too.
that's something that people do.
Yeah, you've
I
never
just
seen
vape
those
through
little...
my nose.
No, those they're not well, yeah, it's menthol or whatever. Like the Vicks vapor rub is kind of made with. It's like minty something.
Oh, yeah,
You like
yeah.
put the little stick in your nose for like 10 seconds, then take it out, and it's all like cold and minty.
I could definitely see how that would help, because like menthol is in like cough drops, and like a lot of vapes will have menthol. My fucking monitor turned off again. Oh, I'm sorry.
Bro.
A lot of
Can you hear me?
vapes.
Oh.
A lot of vapes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
A lot of vapes will have menthol, and also cigarettes, like Newport cigarettes, will have menthol. I don't think you'll have to edit that out. I was gone for
Oh.
like 5 seconds.
Oh no, but I don't know. We'll see. It's all right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I remember I've never smoked a cigarette, by the way, but I remember my sister or my mom or someone was smoking a cigarette, and the only reason why I wanted to, like when I was younger, was because they had the menthol. I think it was the thing where you crush the camel, you squeeze them, and I'm like, oh, I do it.
Camel Crushes.
Yeah.
Camel Crushes. Oh, that's nostalgic
Yeah,
for me.
they let me do it. I didn't smoke any cigarettes or anything, but but yeah, that was like a
I got
very
a funny
very
story
cool thing.
about those.
I was like, oh man, it's like interactive. Like I love things where I can be involved in it, and it's not just like the product. But yeah, what
Yeah.
is it? I never smoked anything when I
Yeah.
was like a child or anything like that. But I did try
I
to
would
smoke a cigarette.
definitely not
butt before
encourage
that.
anybody. Oh,
To-
yeah, I've gotten desperate like that before. Mostly when I was a teenager, but
That was me when I was
one
a
of the
teenager.
dumbest
I was
decisions
like-
I ever made.
Sorry, go ahead.
I guess PSA. I know a lot of fucking I wasn't. I was an adult when I made this decision to start being a nicotine addict. You know, a lot of people start
Me
vaping in
too.
high school because they think it's cool. I
Yeah,
was
I
never
know.
like that.
It was crazy, and it
Um,
was a surprise for me because people. I think I forgot how old you are. You don't have to say, but I think it kind of
I'm
start.
23.
Okay,
I
okay.
think you're a little
Look,
older than me.
yeah, I think there was a time frame there. Like people used to smoke in schools, and then people are like, "Ew, smoking's gross." And then like
Yeah.
around the time I was getting out of high school is when vaping like started coming into schools, and of course people could do it in the
Yeah.
bathrooms and shit.
Yeah, of course. You know, it was interesting because I got to see. So when I graduated pre-COVID. Um, I got to see the growth of vaping, um, just not only through my own high school experience, but because I'm the youngest of many siblings and cousins. Um, so I remembered when first vapes first became a thing. There was those, they call them box mods, or like those e-cigarettes that are literally look like cigarettes. Like 2012, 2011, 2012, and I'd see people use those, and I'm like, whoa, what are they? You know,
Yeah,
what are
those
they
were
doing?
kind of
That's
like
not a cigarette.
sick. It's like what? Like those actually kind of
Yeah, no, they
looked like
were
the
cool.
cigarette, so you still look cool with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like smoking cigarettes, cool,
Um,
but you look cool when you smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, after a while, I think like freshman year of high school, I knew some kids who smoked cigarettes, but they didn't necessarily have vapes yet because vapes were big and cumbersome and you couldn't really sneak them into school. But then I remember distinctly, it was either 2018 or 2019. It was definitely at least 2019, but probably like 17, 18, 19 is when Juuls became a thing.
Yep,
And
that was what I was
that's
thinking.
when it became portable. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that was huge for a long time because flavored, you know, pods were a thing. They eventually ended up banning vapes altogether in my home state because there was some people who were dying because of vapes and shit, like they were getting like bronchitis or pneumonia or some shit. But I remember when Juuls became a thing, I thought it was fucking stupid. And I didn't understand at the time because I thought people vaped just for the fun of it. I didn't realize there was an actual like chemical feeling that came from nicotine. And then as soon as I graduated high school, that's when disposables became a thing. When I was in high school, disposable vapes were not a thing. So like, you know, the Geek Bars and the Air Bars and you know those tiny little USB sticks that look like literal toys.
Yeah.
Those were not a thing when I was in high school. The year after I graduated, they became a thing. And um I didn't actually start vaping. I started end of 2019. I was like super in a mentally bad spot. Like I was single. I had a really bad breakup with like a super toxic ex, and it was like my first, not my first relationship, but like my first serious one. Um, and I remember, so my current fiance, we dated in high school for a year. We broke up because I was stupid. Um, I didn't cheat or anything like that. I was just being retarded. Um, I didn't know what a good relationship was. And we broke up for a year and we got back together at the very end of 2019, early 2020. Like that short period of time where it was 2020 and COVID hadn't happened yet is when we first, like literally January 1st is what we consider our anniversary. And we started because when her and I started hanging out again, I remember it was so cute. She had found like a pack of Newport menthol cigarettes, and I had smoking a couple cigarettes throughout my life, like early, like when I was working at a Subway, and my coworker had one, and I remember first inhaling, I was like, "Oh my God, nicotine does something,"
Yeah.
and
Rip.
and at that point in my life, I was just really like, I didn't care. I was like super edgy. I had not matured yet, so I was like, "Fuck it." And then my fiance, she found an entire pack of Newport cigarettes, Newport menthols, just out like on a trail somewhere. It was unopened. I remember
Oh,
I was texting her and
a
she
gift
was
from God. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. No, literally. No, she is. She absolutely is.
No, I meant
And so
well,
are those
well,
cigarettes.
yes, she is, but I was talking about the unopened pack of cigarettes.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. No, those things are they're connected directly. You know, my fiance is actually just a pack of cigarettes.
Oh shit! I shouldn't.
No,
have,
but
shouldn't have said anything.
yeah, she gave me a full pack of cigarettes that she found, and I remember that's how I started getting addicted to nicotine because I'd smoke them,
No.
and then eventually I realized like, oh my god, I'm actually hooked. And then my buddies they started bringing around these fucking disposable vapes, and I'm 23. This was early 2020, so I was 18 years old. In my state, for a short period of time when I was 18, you could still buy nicotine as an 18-year-old. But I remember 2020 is when they passed the federal law. You're 21 now. So you can't buy cigarettes or vapes unless you're 21. And so I was freshly addicted to nicotine. I found disposable vapes. I'm like, fuck.
Ooh, let me
How am
let
I
me
gonna
butt in
continue
real
this?
quick. That was when you were
Mhm.
freshly addicted to nicotine. That was when I had just quit cold turkey, and I was like, well, good thing I stopped vaping because I was 20 at the time, and you had to be 21
Yeah.
then, and I was like, thank God it
It
came
was-
just in time. I was like perfect
Yeah.
because now I can't even go to the store and get it. I don't know if I was cold turkey a year before
Uh-huh.
that or not, but I was at the point where I was like, well, I was good, I was fine, I was satisfied with not vaping.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucked.
I
I'll
couldn't
tell you straight up right
imagine
now.
that they
was-
didn't even have
so-
a grace period of we'll
No,
implement
there
this
wasn't
as
a grace
people
period.
become 21. It's just everyone now, even if you're
Mhm.
addicted. And I'm like, holy fuck! I got lucky there because I would have gone insane if I couldn't have vaped and I wanted or
Yeah.
needed to.
It was awful. I remember I drove like 45 minutes because at the time I knew that the state I was living in was 21 now, and I didn't know it was federal. So I drove 45 minutes to another state to buy another pack of cigarettes because vapes were expensive. And lady's like, "You're not 21." I'm like, I had that, that sinking feeling when you know that something's really bad. You're like, "Oh God, how am I going to sustain this now?" And so what became a thing was we would have plugs for disposable vapes.
Mm-hmm.
I would have a guy on Snapchat who I went to high school with. He was a fucking great dude, by the way. I'm glad that he wasn't sketchy at all. My plugs for whatever I needed were always awesome. In fact, the guy who sold me, I was a huge stoner for God. How many years from 2019 to 2024 was that 6 years? 5
Dude,
years?
simple math,
5.
bro.
So as it okay,
That's the easiest
listen.
math.
I was in special education for my entire life. So
Okay,
give me a
sorry.
break.
Now I feel bad,
You're
okay?
good. No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, 5 years I was a huge stoner. And so I was lucky that the people that sold me weed were also people that were chill, and the same thing with people who sold me disposable vapes. And so I would have to drive all the way to my hometown because I moved south to another state. But I only knew a guy that would sell me disposable vapes, and so me and my fiance would go and drive 45 minutes in my shitty little car, spend $60 on disposable vapes.
You just
And
hoard 'em
it was
until
awful.
you run
It was
out.
really awful. Yeah, and I
Resell 'em? No, I'm just kidding. It's too late.
no.
You needed it.
It didn't seem like a profitable business for me, but I'll tell you, it was a fucking profitable business for him because he ended up buying a brand new Volkswagen Jetta with that money that he
Holy
got
shit.
selling disposable vapes and working. But he also made a lot of money selling disposable vapes. So, and he was a great dude. I think he's in school now or whatever, but yeah, no, he wasn't a scam artist at all. He always had good rates, but yeah, disposable vape plugs were a thing. vape dealers were a thing. And I remember turning 21, and I lived here now. I moved from one marijuana legal state to another marijuana legal state, and I was still a stoner. So I remember buying vapes, buying alcohol, and buying pot legally for the first time was fucking insane. Especially because it's so cheap here.
Oh wait, I guess
like
you
I don't
couldn't.
smoke.
I guess you couldn't. Smoking, was that nicotine? So that 21 thing applied to all sorts of smoking. That was.
Yeah, everything. Everything. You had to be 21 to buy
Oh.
vapes. You had to be 21 to buy marijuana. You had to be 21,
Okay.
obviously, to buy alcohol.
No, I've never been in a weed legal state, so I have no idea.
It's
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah, because I was
It's
just like,
interesting.
nicotine! I used to be obsessed with that. So, okay.
Yeah, no, I still vape nicotine. I don't do pot anymore. It was really, funnily enough, right around the time, I think I meant to mention this before, but I didn't. Right around the time that I actually met you and I started being active in the servers and shit was like probably maybe about 2 or 3, maybe even 4 weeks after I quit smoking pot. And it was heavily affecting my mental health. And so that was great because I was able to give myself something to focus on that wasn't just hankering for weed. And, I have an addictive personality, so like I did get dependent on it. And I've been dependent on a couple other things, not like hard drugs or anything like that, but like,
Yeah.
vapes I'm definitely still
Well,
addicted
I'm
to.
proud of
Caffeine,
you.
I'll never be able to cut that out.
I'm proud
Thank
of
you.
you. I
have-
think because I guess I don't have an addictive personality because, like, for example, I can, like, except for food. Food is the only fucking thing. It's so hard because you have to eat, and so I'm just like, oh, if I have to eat, and if I
I
want to eat,
understand.
I'll just eat whatever I crave. So that's fucked up. But even like caffeine, I can
That's
stop
one thing.
caffeine, but the only thing that like sucks is like you literally get an excruciating headache, and so it's kind of impossible to like completely stop. Like I can like physically stop myself from making coffee, but if I feel like shit, that's hard because I'm actually just having withdrawals. But the vaping was actually, I quit it just because I was going on a road trip and I didn't want to have to drink. What I was doing before, I was vaping like constantly throughout the road trip. And so the more I vaped, the more water I had to drink. And the more water I had to drink, the more piss breaks I had to do. So I was like, okay, I'm just not going to vape for this week.
Yeah.
And because I don't want to have to like keep stopping. I just want to drive there and drive. It was in a road trip. I just drove to see family, but that was like 8 hours or whatever at the time.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
but that's how I stopped. But like, there were some times I'm like, oh, like, and it's like muscle memory too, like grabbing the vape and shit. And like,
Yeah, oral fixation's huge.
yeah. And it's satisfying to just have like the cloud come out. But it really wasn't too hard. I mean, there were some times where I was kind of like, I want to do it, but I don't know. Every once in a while recently, like if I've gotten like really stressed, it's been maybe like once or twice this year. I've just been like, oh, I want to do it. And it sucked before, like, because I guess I always vaped when I was drinking. So a lot of the times I realized when I'd stopped vaping and when I was drinking at the same time, like, or when I was drinking, I was craving the vape, and that's really when it came out the most. But like when I was sober and stuff, it was fine. But I don't know. I forgot what we were talking about, just like addictions to things. Like, but yeah, I don't have an addictive personality. I can usually stop myself from doing something. Except when I get like my hyper fixation on like, this isn't really it could be like whatever, like lost media thing, or like for years when I was in middle school, there's this one website that I was on all the time. It was like it was like a chat room, but like I was like addicted to it actually, and like that was very hard for me for me to get off. But
Oh, I struggle hardcore with hyperfixations.
It doesn't come
It's
to
the
me
one
too
thing that
often.
really solidifies. Yeah. So I was always like, so as I was mentioning before, like I said, I was in special education my whole school career. That is true. I'm not obviously like I don't have any like intellectual disabilities. I have learning disabilities, like the standard ones, like ADHD. I guess being on the spectrum is considered a learning disability, but I have something that's called dyspraxia, and it's essentially like it's like a nervous system disorder. It makes me kind of clumsy or whatever, and it kind of affected like my schooling. So I was put in special education my whole life, and I was always in denial, specifically about being autistic, because I always found it as a negative thing. Being in special education whilst feeling like I was intellectually on par, or in middle school, I always saw myself as like this hyper intelligent fucking. I, it was like this weird delusion I had that was drilled in by my dad, but it really affected my social life like hardcore. Like I didn't necessarily get bullied, but I got like I felt like I was getting bullied like by myself, with just low self esteem. So I did not want to consider ever the fact that I was on the spectrum until in when I was 18. I had a lot of emotional problems, and I thought that I had like bipolar or some shit. I didn't end up, but I did. They did end up putting me on pills for that, which was horrible. But I found out that I was on the spectrum, and then it didn't really start to click until I started getting older, and I realized like, holy shit, I absolutely am, because I do get these hyperfixations, and they're intense, and they've wrapped me up. Like when I was 13 or so, I was obsessed with 90s Nickelodeon. Like that was my thing. I would literally sit down. My first video on my YouTube channel was a compilation of like 90s Nickelodeon commercials and shit. And then after that, it was Lost Media.
Ruh-roh.
I was really early to the wave of Lost Media. In middle school, they gave us iPads in middle school. So, like, we're talking, like, 2013, 14. I was going on the Lost Media wiki, and it was, like, the old one. It wasn't the new one where they have their own website. It was still, like, a wiki. And I remember I was the first person to write the article when I was, like, literally, like, an amoeba. Like, I was a fetus. I was the first person to write an article about these online games. They're called 3D Groove games, and they were Lost Media for a long time. And so I was super like that's how I ended up getting like in contact with like L Supersonic Q and stuff like that, is because I was kind of like within that internet zeitgeist. But so that was like a hyperfixation. And then man, Green Day, like I talk about it a lot, but it's not a joke. Like growing up, my entire life was Green Day.
Aww.
To a point where, like, I literally taught myself how to sing like Billy Joe Armstrong.
That's pretty cool, actually. I like that. It's kind of funny, though, because you're, like... It sounds like you used to think, like, oh, autistic, like, that means I'm not as... I guess, just simply. I mean, I know it's not exactly this. Like, I'm not as smart as my dad said. But I always thought the opposite. I always thought, like, when I was younger, that autistic people were more smart. They're kind of... I didn't understand it, but I'm like, oh, they're a little weird, but, like, they're really smart, and they're saying, like, all this stuff. I don't fucking know what it's about, and they're an expert in whatever they're interested in. So I kind of always have been like, yeah, they're fucking smart. And even though they... From what I heard from the few autistic people I could actually like tell were autistic, I could tell obviously those were like the stereotypical ones that are like awkward and stuff, but they were very intelligent, and what they, if they were interested in it, they probably did their research, they probably were fixated on it or still are, and they're very smart. So I thought that was interesting that you thought kind of the opposite, I guess.
It was like definitely environmental. So in middle school, I was placed in a program that I carried on into high school, but high school is actually a very healthy thing for me. It was called the Flex program, essentially. And high school is amazing. I met some of my favorite people on earth in the high school Flex. But middle school Flex was pretty abusive, I would say. I was emotionally manipulated quite a bit in that program. And because I was and did feel like I was an intelligent person, but I was in this program, I was surrounded, and you got to understand that I was literally a child. So I was, you know, I had the mentality of like, you know, why am I being put into a room with people who have severe autism and Down syndrome? You know what I mean? And I'm being...
Well, I mean, you were actually like different from them, and I mean, I know things are probably approached differently these days too, but no one wants to be like, simply when you're that young, if you're in school, you don't want to be grouped like that at all. You just want to be in the normal classes with everyone else.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I knew I had like the intellectual capability to understand like what was being taught to me, but like my attention span and particularly my home life was really rough because that was like the poverty era, and I grew up at that time period in a pretty upper middle class town, so there was not a lot of poor people, and so I was definitely a black sheep. And being put into a program like that, and it was run by two people. One of the people was the wife of a teacher I ended up having in high school, and I did kind of feel empathetic towards her after a while. So I won't shit on her. Hi, Dipper. Sorry, my cat just jumped on my fucking desk.
No.
But the other woman who ran the program, who essentially started the program, very emotionally manipulative. They did horrible shit all the time. They actually, like, I was an edgy kid, you know, and so they would take any excuse for me to essentially get like a mental evaluation. I remember I drew, are you familiar with the Angry Video Game Nerd?
Slightly.
Like the YouTuber?
I understand
So,
like his whole
you know,
shtick, I think, but I don't know anything specific.
Yeah. I was a nerdy kid, and so I was interested in like retro video games and stuff. And so I drew him. You know, I drew the Angry Video Game Nerd, and what he would do is he would take like these game controllers that looked like guns, and he would kind of put on like this weird cape thing, and I drew him, and I had the text Angry Video Game Nerd at the top. And now context is really important for this. This is January 2013, or maybe like January, February 2013. So this is like months after Sandy Hook. And this is like really close proximity to Connecticut. So like we're really not far off from where Sandy Hook actually happened. So I kind of understand their mentality, but they found this picture of the Angry Video Game Nerd holding literally a Super Nintendo fucking blaster. And they saw that as a reason to send me to get a mental evaluation. They literally forced my father to take me to the hospital, or else they were going to take me in an ambulance.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it was really fucked up. And, you know...
And also, you don't...
It was...
You don't... Even if it's, like, 10 years ago, like, video games were a thing. Like, you don't force that first. You should ask other questions first, or... at least be like, hey,
exactly.
Like, what is this? And then you could have just been like, oh, it's a YouTuber, Angry Video Game Nerd. And, you know, like, or they could have just been like, do you have a gun at home or something? You know, something like that. Instead of just straight up, oh, this kid needs to get evaluated. Like, what the fuck? That was so fucked up.
Yeah, and that didn't stop there. That was like the beginning of it. That was literally right as I got placed in the program. I was, like I said, from 6th grade, which is when that happened, all the way up until I graduated high school, I was in the Flex program. And the middle school one, very abusive. They, just an example of what they did. My father, I lived with my father at the time. My father was an alcoholic. They knew my father was an alcoholic. And so whenever I would get in trouble, they would threaten to get him, like call him, as if he was gonna like hit me. He was never like physically abusive or anything like that, but they thought that was what that was, and they used it against me. And then there was another child in that class who didn't like peanut butter. I think he was also on the spectrum. I was not diagnosed at the time, but he didn't like peanut butter. They forced him to like peanut butter. They're like, it's not socially acceptable to not like
What
peanut
the
butter.
fuck
You know what I
is
mean?
that? What is
Yeah,
wrong with
exactly.
them?
And then they would do these fucking weird things where they would get these grants from the school, like unspent grants, and they would just take us to Walmart, buy us a ton of shit for no reason, just to spend money because the grants weren't spent, which definitely was not legal.
What? What the fuck?
And yeah, it was horrible. They always singled me out. Um, and it traumatized me for years. It made me feel like I was in danger. And as time went on, I went into high school flex, which was again completely different program. It was the same still technically, but this wasn't like the special education kids that were like Down syndrome on the autism, like hardcore autism. They were not placed in flex in high school. They were placed in a different room. Flex in high school was for kids who had minor learning disabilities or had emotional problems. So I had a lot of delinquent kids with me, but there was a family-like atmosphere to it, and the teachers had our backs. My math teacher, who later became the flex teacher, one of my favorite dudes of all time. He literally taught me how to grow up as like, he was like a big brother figure. He was awesome. I can't say his name because he still works there,
Yeah.
but I mean, amazing people.
That's
Unfortunately, we did have one of them die from like overdose of like opiates or something. But so far, everyone who was in the high school program ended up becoming really functional members of society. Shout out to like Holly, Juliana, fucking Dylan, you were dope. Jeremiah, you were awesome. Rip Paul. Paul was a fucking awesome dude. Damien, fucking love Damien. He was like all these people I grew up with. Fucking, they were so great. Some of them are just so successful now. But it's funny about the middle school program is that the woman who ran the middle school program ended up leaving the middle school, and they started a private company called, and I have no problem saying this shit. You can fucking sue me all you want. I'll countersue you for fucking child abuse because that's exactly what you did to me. They started a program called, it was like Flexible Fundamentals. And it was for adults, and it was like an after school thing. And they ended up getting sued because they took health insurance, right? They were overbilling Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I knew, I swear, even after I graduated high school, I knew that there was some sus shit going on because it didn't seem right. They charged families like $200, and they also got health insurance. So they were making bank. Like the woman who ran this fucking company ended up getting these fancy fucking cars, huge house, shit like that. And yeah, they ended up getting sued. I think they're still in,
Oh my
like,
god.
you can look it up. Yeah, you can look up the lawsuit, yeah, of this company who overbilled Blue Cross Blue Shield. And you know, it was sus. And then I can't say for sure, but I believe that the woman who ran the company ended up getting like a possession charge at some point. So there was definitely some shit going on.
Yeah, if you just
And
look
a lot
up
of the
that
people-
name, I just put Flexible Fundamentals and then the word sued. Stuff will come up.
Yeah. And so, you know, this is public. You can't sue me for talking about this. I was literally within the program.
It's all over Google.
Not the... Yeah. They tried to get me into the adult program. I was like, no, are you fucking kidding me? I'm a functional adult. I don't need
What
your
the
shit.
fuck?
And you can't take... I didn't even have health insurance. No, that... Horrible. I feel so bad for the people who were wrapped up in that program. Because it was just so unprofessional. There were some really good people who were working at that company. But you could tell, like, when I was 18, I literally wanted to make a documentary on them, but I just... ADHD, I never went through with it. But it was just not right. And when I learned that they were getting the law was slapped on them, I felt so righteous because like finally I get some fucking justice. Because it wasn't like when I was in school, I never got to be like, hey, these people abused me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and you
and
can
I never
and you
was able
probably
to.
couldn't do anything about it too because I mean like change schools or like they'll just keep you in the same program at school and then it'll be worse if no adult wants
Yeah,
to follow through.
exactly. And
And of
I
course,
had no money
obviously
to
you
hire a
stated,
lawyer.
oh yeah, that I was gonna say, and you stated like, yeah, you guys don't have money at the time to move around or you're unless your parents maybe like work for the school district or anything. It's not really you can't pick and choose schools usually, where you're at.
Yeah,
I assume like I
yeah,
think most places are like that, where it's like you're
exactly.
just zoned to the school.
It's definitely
So
regional. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, and and it sucks too because there were some people from the high school program who ended up getting a job at that private company, and I felt powerless because if I tore it down, I knew I would be tearing down people who I knew were like actual good human beings.
Mm-hmm.
So it just didn't feel morally okay. But being able to speak out about it now, knowing that they did get in legal trouble and that there was something going on there that wasn't right, it feels really good to know like that chapter of my life is over and I no longer have to worry about getting justice because karma kind of already did it for him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, and that's why I hyperfixate on Xbox 360s because I later learned that I was autistic, and then I think the point I was trying to make before I rambled was like hyperfixations when you're on the spectrum are literally like a drug. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's great. It's a great
Yeah,
drug.
I've been told. I mean, it's kind of as a joke, but also like
Hmm.
kind of seriously because it's the whole like the autistic people always find each other thing, but that I'm autistic and I'm like, I'm not autistic, haha, and I'm like, no, I think I kind of am, but I'm kind of the kind where like, yeah, I hyperfixate and stuff on things, but it's really hard for me to find something I like, and so it's really hard for me
Yeah.
like that's why I'm like I hyperfixate, but not like I just have to. Something's got to click. Like the things recently, and it was a couple years ago. Well, no, I think there's been about one every year. It's been like it was like lost media for one. So it was like a Shrek lost media, and I was like trying to search. Like I don't even know how to fucking search. I tried my hardest to like search like everything had already been seen and stuff, and I was trying to make a timeline and whatever. And
Yeah.
I bought something off of eBay to see if there was a thing. I don't know. So like there's that, and then it was like 9/11, which I follow this 9/11 subreddit. So once I go through
Woo!
there,
Fuck yeah!
it's so easy to hyperfixate on that one
Fucking
because there's so many videos and there's
9/11, dude.
really, and then the other one was Columbine, which I.
Oh, you had a Columbine era too?
Yeah, I've only read like half of the book from oh god, what was the
Oh,
guy's
man.
name? Not
Eric Harris,
Brooks
Dylan Klebold,
Brown's
Brooke.
dad.
Oh,
His dad,
the,
he wrote a
the
book.
girl.
I can't remember his first name.
Her parents split up, and then her mom tried to push this religious agenda, and her dad was just like, "Oh fuck no."
Wait,
I know who you're talking about. The 13 Tears,
no,
where she drove.
no, Brooks Brown is a guy. Wait, is his name's Brooks? Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
so there was a girl who got
There's so many
Now,
things
let me clarify this,
involved
'cause
in
I actually-
Columbine, by the way. My initial
Yeah.
thing was like, oh, well, I want to see their motive. Long story short, no one knows their motive. But that went into me going
No.
into like all of the fucking lore and all the conspiracies and all the things that were done right and all the things that were done wrong and all the things that they didn't know what to do because it was like the first big thing that happened like that. And it's like, it's just so, you obviously know, you're experienced, I could tell. Like you know all the stuff, but it's like I just in it for one thing and now I'm here for it all. After how long? But yeah,
it
like
sucks. It sucks being interested in stuff like that because, at least for me, when I got into it, I was in high school, and I was a really scraggly kid who wore black clothes and I had long hair, so people were scared. I obviously had no violent intentions ever, but I did get in trouble for just being interested in it. That was kind of like my first exposure to true crime. I also had a hyperfixation on 9/11 too, because it happened the year that I was born, and so
Not the 9/11.
you know, I
hyperfixation.
would.
Have you heard about the
Yeah,
LOL Superman lost
Tower
media or
7?
whatever it's called?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
So, well, that's
Yeah, of
that's
course.
like something I think that was. I think that. Well, I've had like 2 9/11 fixations. One is when I was like 12 or something, and that's when I was like, oh my god, like this is
Yeah.
crazy. And like it was like the whole conspiracy is did the towers can jet fuel melt? So whatever, all that melting. Like was it real? Was
exactly.
it conspiracy? And then the next one was just like. Just the collection of like all the videos that have come out since then, and like people are still releasing them and stuff, and just like more like what was it actually like that day rather than like the conspiracies. That's been my one recently for like the past year, but
Yeah.
I'm not fixated on it at the moment, but there are plenty of like there's at least one subreddit I follow, and then there are multiple channels on YouTube that have just videos and collections of the stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely. I'll find myself randomly just watching like these videos where they'll put like all the news stations at once and like timed up to when the first plane hit the tower and just all the news coverage and stuff like that. Yeah, it's interesting because like a lot of people like raise their eyebrow at that. It's funny because I'm not like, or maybe when I was like a teenager, but I'm not like a 9/11 conspiracy theorist at all. I think for me, my hyperfixations are primarily in historical value. You know what I mean? It's actually like part of the reason like why a lot of my video game hyperfixations aren't necessarily like, oh, I love Elden Ring or some shit. I could give less of a fuck about like current video games. I do not care. Stuff that I grew up with, stuff that emanates a feeling of like hard nostalgia is a pure hyperfixation for me. Like my Xbox 360s,
yeah.
I had a bunch of them growing up. Before that, it was like the Nintendo 3DS. I love that console because I had one when I was 10. SpongeBob, I don't know why. I really should have mentioned that at first. That was my very first hyperfixation
Let's
was
go.
SpongeBob.
I don't know if I have
I could
had
tell
a
you-
SpongeBob hyperfixation because I think my mom knew I liked SpongeBob, and so she kept buying me some like cringy SpongeBob. And of course, I love the stuff now, but like she used to like buy me whatever SpongeBob shirt or like a bow that goes in my hair, and then it kind of like put me off. I'm like, okay, I don't want to like it anymore. But now I'm like, fuck ass.
I was ahead of the fucking curve when it came to people liking SpongeBob. I feel, at least when they're older, because a lot of the like in middle school, I was very into SpongeBob. I used to read like the SpongeBob wiki stuff, and I used to be like super caught up. I used to watch these YouTubers, fucking Pie Guy Rules. He doesn't make videos anymore, but he used to be like my favorite one. He would talk about like every episode of SpongeBob reviewed and stuff like that. And I was into it, and people would bully me for it. People would make fun of me. And then fucking 5 years later, people would be like, yo, SpongeBob's the shit. I'm like, yeah, I knew. SpongeBob has always been the shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No, like,
and now it's like, I don't know if it's the area I'm in or what, but like sometimes I like mention a SpongeBob thing, and I must not know my people, because some people, like, it's only like one person that'll react to it, and it's like no one, like I do like the whatever SpongeBob thing, and I'm like, okay, these are not my people. And I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have said that. No one knows what I've been talking about. But yeah,
it's like
it's great when people know
in culture
SpongeBob.
now.
I feel like it's nice though, because I feel like at least like
Yeah.
something like SpongeBob, I mean, it's probably the same for like fan bases in general, like if people talk about a certain anime or something, but it's like if you say the line and they get it, like you guys are from a similar time frame, like you get each other, you know, you guys
Yeah,
probably have similar interests then.
exactly.
Like if you can get whatever random fucking line of SpongeBob I'm saying, like it's awesome.
Yeah. No, like, I just, my favorite, so like my entire family, I grew up, I'm from an all-boy family. and we all grew up on the same shit. You know what I mean? All watching the same television. We're all relatively within like a 7-year time frame of when we were born. Like from mid 90s to early 2000s, we're all around the same age. Every single one of us will
That's
talk
a good time
in
frame.
SpongeBob-ese.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all,
No, but like,
y'all probably
like-
have good get-togethers.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. The Cuzzies, we call each other the Cuzzies. Some of us are brothers,
Aw.
some of us are cousins. Some of us aren't even like related. Like my roommate is a Cuzzy. He's like an honorary Cuzzy.
Some of you guys are squatchers. Wait, I forgot what it was called. That feels like so long
Squinchers.
ago.
We're
Squinchers.
squinching.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, by the
We're
way, we've been
squinching
going
up in
for
here. Yeah,
like
no.
2 hours and 4 minutes. We can go longer, but I'm just telling you. So,
I can't. I'm
so
having a great time.
Squinchers sounds like it was like years ago, is what I'm trying to say, because I'm like,
Yeah,
I
literally.
completely forgot. Like that feels like it was, we
Literally.
spoke about it so long ago. But you guys
Yeah.
are the cousins.
I'm so glad that you
Oh, wait.
know about Squincher now. The
The-
Cuzzies.
Cuzzies.
The Cuzzy Wuzzies.
Cuzzy. Okay, it's
Yeah,
Cuzzy
the
Wuzzy
Cuzzies.
Fuzzy buddies.
Yeah. We all like to squinch. We all fucking.
Oh
we
my
all,
gosh. Cuzzies
we
who
all like
squinch together, stay
SpongeBob.
together.
I hope you know they're gonna listen to this and they're gonna be ecstatic. They're gonna
Just-
lose their. I'm not gonna hear the end of this until like 6 months from Halloween when this fucking episode comes out. Happy
Good,
Halloween, Cuzzies.
That's gonna be awesome.
But yeah, no, like something I noticed too is like a lot of people within our generation talk in SpongeBob quotes. If you watch Charlie, a lot of the time, like when he says like, "All right, sports fans," like that's a fucking SpongeBob quote. You know what I mean? Or like, "Oh brother, this guy stinks." That's all fucking SpongeBob. It's literally ingrained in our culture, and it's because like. In my opinion, at least, I've never seen a cartoon that's as funny as the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob. If you go back and watch it, it's genuinely fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like I love it so. Like we throw it on every once in a while just to have something on, but I'm like waiting for the moment, and then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, like is this like funny? And then some of the ones like I'm still catching like little moments that like catch me off guard, and I'm like, I just start cracking up just because of
Yeah.
like not even just the joke, just like sometimes it's simply the timing is so perfect. I'm like, what
Exactly.
the fuck? Or like something is just randomly idiotic. Like, you know, the thing where, oh god, and I can't even remember, and I just saw the fucking episode, but Mr. Krabs comes in and like he scares him. He's like, "Huh, blah, blah, blah." Like that stupid fucking thing. I forgot what it was, but I was just like what fucking? It doesn't even make any sense. It's so funny though. It's just
Oh my
it
God.
is
It's
a
so
perfect
great, too,
first 3
because-
seasons.
It's great when older generations will get in on it too, because my stepdad, oh my god, I love my stepdad so much. My stepdad is like 50 fucking, he's in his mid 50s, right? But he's not a boomer when it comes to culture. Like literally, I exposed him to so much YouTube shit growing up. Like he's, not anymore because he's in with the lore, but he loved iDubbbz growing up. He loved
Aw.
Filthy Frank growing up. He was like literally, you know, some of the worst things that you can say that came out of their mouths. He'll still, to this day, like you get a couple of Sam Adams in him, he'll be like, "Ooh, that's pretty good." You know what I mean? Like he's a meme lord, and he has to be
Aw.
because he grew up with all of us.
That's
and
awesome.
to this day, like every now and then we'll talk about like some money shit, and he'll be like, "You think I could have gotten more?" And it's referring to how Mr. Krabs sold SpongeBob for
Yes.
62 cents.
Oh
Like,
my gosh. That's awesome. Yeah, I forgot about, well, I didn't forget about it. I do know that era of iDubbbz and Filthy Frank and stuff, but man, that was like my like prime middle school time. I was just like,
Oh yeah.
not middle school. Oh my god, high school.
Yeah,
Jesus
you definitely would have been high
Christ.
school. 'Cause
Oh my god, I was
in high school,
17
and
in
I'm pretty sure you're older than me.
2016. Jesus. I said middle school. I hope I'm not 17 in middle
2016.
school. Yes.
So you must be 2 years older than me then. Huh?
Yeah, we're not
25?
too far apart. Yeah, I'm 25.
Okay,
Yeah, we're
so-
not far apart at all. That's why I thought it was really cool when you mentioned. It's funny because sometimes regionally stuff is a little different. Like where I moved from to where I moved to, like a couple places, like it's literally the difference of if people get on the computer or not, because people are so caught up or so far behind on stuff. So like here people just don't
100%.
use the computer
I imagine
that
in the
much.
South too.
Yeah, it's like people aren't caught up here.
See-
Like they're years behind on shit, and so like I'm like, ooh. So I was expecting you to like have all these fucking different kinds of vaping at my school is popular, and that would be like a completely different time. But it was like the dates you said spot on, like 2017, 18, 19. I'm like, fuck, like what the hell?
Yeah, man.
It was
Yeah,
crazy. Like
it's
down to the
insane,
year.
One of the that's one thing. Another thing about being autistic is I'm very, very articulate when it comes to dates and shit. Like to this day, my 3 older brothers and older cousins and whatever will come to me to remember stuff that happened in their childhood. I remember my second oldest brother. He came up to me. He's like, "Did we have a?" Oh, you're gonna have to bleep that.
Yeah, what is it? 2, 9,
Hold on.
14. Okay.
2, 9, 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I doxed myself.
Oh my god, I
They'll
have
be
to
like-
do work. No, I'm just kidding.
Shit, I'll help you. Give me the files. I'll do it. They're like, Zag, did we have a Game Boy growing up? And I'll be like, yeah, we had a red Game Boy Color, and it was missing the battery pack cover on the back. I'm like, how the fuck do you remember that? That was like 2003. I was like, yeah, I remember 2003. Like,
Oh.
Shit
That's
like that. Like I'm so intense when it comes to timelines and everything like that. But distinctly, I remember vapes became a thing 2017, 2018. 2018 specifically is when dab carts became a thing. And in my state, we had a lot of fake dab carts. And I definitely was smoking those things, but holy fuck.
Oh.
The prospect of portable weed was so cool when you were in high school. Nowadays, I realize that not only is it the worst form of it for your body, but like it's just like kind of lame at this point because everyone knows that you can vape marijuana, but like you vape fucking DMT. People vape meth out here. It's
Ooh,
crazy.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I didn't know that like, well, I don't know if it was real or fake or what, but I didn't know it was like the worst form. Like, I don't know.
Well, that's just kind of like from my experience. Like when I was an active pot smoker, I chose dab carts, like concentrates and shit like that. And I got them from like dispensaries, you know what I mean? Well, at least as an adult, because, it was relatively cheap. You can get them for like $20 out here. And they would last a while. But I noticed, like, I think that really was what attributed to my anxiety primarily, because I have
Because
like
they're
edibles.
just concentrated, right? I mean,
Yeah. And so, like, I think it was the other day. I'm not a huge drinker, but I got really drunk for my fiance's birthday party. Like, super drunk. Like, the most drunk I've ever been in my life.
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
I hit one of my brother's, like, dab carts, and I remember I literally started having a panic attack. I'm like, I forgot these things were so powerful.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I
my
remember...
roommate...
Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
My roommate back in when he was, like, 18 had to go to the hospital for, like lung problems because of those concentrate distillate whatever. But what were you saying?
No, I was just my experience. I don't know what it was called, but this random person when I was in high school had this fancy little device, and I don't think it was like the ones that look like the little pins, like the tall skinny ones. It was like a shorter, it wasn't a fat one, but it was like dabs, and he was like, oh man, I remember him being so particular about it. Also about his truck too. Fuck him. But anyway, he's like, oh, I don't want anyone
Sounds like a
throwing up.
prick.
I don't want anyone throwing up in my truck. I don't want anyone blah. And it's like, dude, just care. Then don't drive us if you don't want anyone throwing up in your truck. Anyway, but there was like whatever device he had, and I guess it was like a new expensive. I don't know what it was, but I was wearing like chapstick or something. And he's like, don't get it dirty, or like, I don't know, but
I was just like, okay, whatever, I guess. So I just like wiped it off afterwards. But there was a cool experience. Like the only good experience I ever remembered anytime I had done that, like in high school, which was like we were at McDonald's and we parked, but where we parked, the highway was just there. So we just saw cars passing by, but we did the dab. And there are these cool ass, like the motorcycles just had colors on it, you know, lights, LED lights or whatever, but they drove by. But they were the coolest things like I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Like besides that, every other time it was like anxiety inducing. And I was like, okay, this is not the thing for me.
Smoking pot, no matter what format it was, will always be, at least in my opinion, will always be way more entertaining when you're like in high school, which sucks because you really shouldn't be doing that when you're in high school because your brain is still growing. Like people even say, like if you're in your early 20s, you really even shouldn't be doing it because it kind of like stunts your brain growth. And I know from experience for doing it for like 5 years straight, that it does affect you. Like smoking regularly, I do not recommend it. Doing anything regularly is horrible. Like drinking,
exercise,
doing kratom or whatever. Exercise, no, don't do that.
Technically, exercise can be like hard on your body if you do it wrong, though. So, like running is actually really hard on your knees. I don't know if it's your ankles too, but I know running's like hard on your knees.
Are destroyed.
Yeah, I don't run, so mine.
But
actually, my knee has started giving out recently. I've been like, you know, hopping up the stairs every once in a while. I like go up the stairs, and sometimes I go up a little fast. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this. I'm gonna go up fast. And fuck, like 2 or 3 times within the past couple months, my knee kind of gave out a little. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, oh no, I'm getting old.
My knees are destroyed. Yeah. So when I have to deliver my product, my copies of Green Day's Warning, released in 2000, featuring the hit Blood, Sex and Booze and Minority and Warning and
I hate
those songs.
Minority.
When I deliver
I hate Minority, the song. That song is so annoying. It is.
Oh no, you got to be careful.
I know, but I do really hate that song a lot because it is. It's so stupid. I don't know. I don't really know the lyrics, but just the way it sounds, it's not catchy. It's really not. I wanna be the shut up. No one cares. Sorry.
I will say, as a Green Day super fan, there are a lot of songs that are super annoying. It sucks. And also, Father of All Motherfuckers is one of the worst records I've ever heard in my life.
I'm gonna have to listen to that and get back with you.
No, you don't. Please do not.
Father
there's
of
like
all
maybe 4 songs on that record.
What'd you say it's called?
That's the name. It released in 2020. It's the worst thing Green Day ever made. I'm sorry, Billy Joe.
Oh god, that's one of those fucking COVID albums. That's retarded. I mean, stupid.
Mariah is so bad.
Anything that came out
like
in
their
2020
latest record,
is like
Saviors,
terrible.
is really good.
I don't even know if I start listening to Green Day.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
The New Abnormal by The Strokes was an amazing record that came out in 2020. And then there was also Level of Concern, that single from 21 Pilots that was being played all the time. That's pretty good. But most songs that came out in 2020 were bad.
Yeah, 2020 is everyone thought they should come back and do something, but a lot of them really shouldn't have.
Even like System of a Down came back in 2020. It was like they made 2 songs after not making records for the ages, and then they never came back. But my knees are destroyed because I have to deliver copies of Green Day records to my customers, and I have to go on my knees in the back of my truck. And now to this day, if I
go on the
lay
knees
on my
for
right
who?
knee,
Your boss? Sorry. Never mind. I should have said that.
No, for Green Day.
Is he? Oh, okay. Sorry, boss.
But like my right knee is destroyed.
I need to stop pulling back and saying sorry. I've been told I need to stop saying sorry.
Yeah, seriously.
So I'm not sorry.
Are you Canadian?
I'm not sorry. In the back of your truck,
on your knees for your boss. Okay, it's not funny anymore. I gotta fucking stop.
Okay,
There was
no.
one song.
No, you're good.
I can't remember it. I'll tell you the whole backstory later. It's not podcast worthy, but I heard it and it was something. What's her name? Never heard that before. But the only thing is, I've only heard a cover of it. But I liked that. I like that song.
What's her
the
name?
cover? Yeah. What's her name?
Name's one of my favorite songs of all time.
I only heard it
it's
for
like,
the first time yesterday.
I
Like,
made a point to burn all of the photographs. That song?
yeah. I'd never heard that song before
I love that
yesterday.
song.
Like literally yesterday.
It's actually...
And I was like, oh, this is a good little.
That's one of my favorite songs off that record.
Oh, and you probably know this. I'm
yeah,
just going
no.
through a Green Day's discography. And by the way, this is
I
like
know
the
everything
only.
about Green Day.
Okay, well, you're going to know this then. This is the only Simpsons content like I've ever seen. The Simpsons movie. I forgot they made like
Yep.
a little cameo in
The
there.
Simpsons movie. Yep. In the very first, and Billy Joe's on stage. He's like, "Hey, thanks you all for coming. We've been playing for 3.5 hours.
Oh my
Now I
God.
just want to take a little bit of your time to talk about the environment." And then they, the fucking Moe's like, "I beg to
Yeah.
differ," and they start throwing trash at them.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
they're-
Stop.
they
It's like
just
I'm
sink into
watching the
barge.
movie again. I don't know why. But that's like one of the few movies I've watched multiple times. Like, because I
love
wanted
the
to.
Simpsons movie.
I've like never I watched a few
Did you see it in
Simpsons
theaters?
episodes. No, I didn't see it in theaters, but I just like love the fucking movie for some reason. I don't know why, but I've like
It's
never
great.
seen
It's a
any other
classic.
Simpsons things, but I love the movie so much.
The movie's great. I went to go see that film in 2007. I was 6 years old. I went to go see that film. And we went to our local movie theater. And I don't know, you've seen it multiple times, right?
Yeah, where he drives
movie,
around
the
the
Simpsons movie.
circle,
So
and he goes to Alaska. And,
Yeah, exactly. So you know the part where Homer and Marge kind of get into an argument, and then Marge and the kids leave, and then Homer kind of goes on this weird spiritual journey with the boob lady
Yeah.
in
Thank
the
you,
middle.
boob lady.
So, yeah, and he passes out, and then the screen fades to black, and it says "to be continued," and then a couple seconds later, it says "immediately." I kid you not, right? This is one of the funniest things that ever happened in my early childhood. When that part of the movie was playing, we were watching the movie. It was in the middle of a thunderstorm, right? And so when the screen faded to black and it said "to be continued," a lightning strike hit the theater and the entire power went out. And so I don't know if you've been in a movie theater when a power surge happens, but the movie stops and the lights come on. So the movie stopped. And people
everyone
started
thought it
leaving
was-
the theater because they thought that they thought that was the end of the movie.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And
That's so great.
they even had a display. They had one of those displays. If you Google it, through multiple theaters throughout the United States, they had a display of Homer, Marge, and like Bart and shit like that on a couch, and Homer had his arms stretched out so you could sit on the couch with them and take a photo. I think somewhere within the realm of lost media, there's a photo of 6-year-old Zag sitting next. But yeah, no,
What?
that's one of my favorite films. It's just so good.
That's awesome.
Napoleon Dynamite's great too.
I've also seen that
I-
one a few times, but it hasn't been too I don't know. It hasn't been like super memorable, or I haven't been like attached to it for any reason. There is
It's kind of a
Cars
film
that
I
I've
feel
watched.
like has to grow on you.
Probably. I've watched Cars a
Cars?
lot because my brother, oh my god, I've
Cha-cha.
probably spoken about this like before on the podcast before, but he used to be obsessed with Ghostbusters and Cars. So I can't tell you how many times I was forced to watch those. But Cars, I swear, I almost knew the whole entire movie. And the same with this one book I used to read him. It was about a train. Like, I used to memorize the whole thing, so I didn't have to, like, read it at one point. I just knew when to turn the pages. It was kind of cool, but it literally was, like, Red Caboose or something like that. I see, now I forgot. But I used to remember the whole
is
thing.
it the little caboose that could?
No.
It's the book where it's like, I think I can.
No, it's literally just a book, and it's like a train, and then like each of the pages has a section of the train, and it's like red caboose at the back, orange tank car next, yellow hopper car, green cattle car, blue gondola car. I think this is like actually the word. Like, it's just saying that, and I don't even know what a gondola car is or a box car. Well, maybe I know what a box car is, but it's like a black tin. Like, I don't know, like a black steam engine. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, why do I know this? I don't know. Anyway,
Real
I need to
quick,
stop.
I really have to go to the bathroom.
Go pee. That's all right. I'll timestamp this.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Right, 2:23:15.
One line flashing in the dark.
No.
Blinded by the silence of 1,000 broken hearts. I'm back.
No. Shut up with that stupid minority song.
There's worse Green Day songs.
Yeah, I heard a few
The end.
yesterday. I'll still tell you about that afterwards because I don't think I want to talk about it here. Let me change that PN time to 20:25. Okay.
I did urinate. That is true.
Nice. Well, since
Their
everyone peed,
greatest record.
huh?
Oh, I was about to say I like their latest record, Green Day.
Yeah. Oh, your microphone went like you were on a phone line or something. That was weird.
Interesting.
Have you seen the since we're on the topic of The Simpsons, have you seen the again, you probably have. The dead Bart thing, that was like, well, that's not lost media. Wait, fuck. Wait, that's not, but I mean, I guess
The
at some
creepypasta?
point, yeah, I guess at some point I thought it was real, so I guess that's why I considered it automatically in my head just now, lost media.
Yeah.
It's like dead Bart, and also I guess
Squidward suicide.
that one, and this one's not technically lost because they had the full thing on the on YouTube, but the suicide mouse,
Yeah.
that one was creepy
Yeah,
because
I feel like a lot of
because that was
people-
the quote actual video, which it wasn't, but like the other ones are just like,
Yeah.
this is my rendition of Dead Bart, this is my rendition, and it's like, this one's the real video, it killed people. Ooh, like, it was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, man, let me tell you. That was like creepypastas was you had to be there at that point of time, like when they were popular and in that age group. It was probably like 5-year time period where they were really popular. I remember when I first started exposing myself to creepypastas, I was probably about 12. And I remember I would literally like be terrified, like scared shitless about the stupidest ones, like Happy Appy. You know what I mean?
I don't think
The
I
one
know
where it's
that
literally an apple.
Happy
It's
Appy?
stupid. They're fucking stupid.
Ew.
And like they always had the most like creepy. Yeah, you see the Photoshop of the fucking apple with the lips and the eyes and shit. Yeah. No, those freaked me out. I literally stayed up scared because of Happy Appy and like Red Mist, and I remember Ben Drowned was one that really freaked me out. My favorite creepypasta, I actually think, is like a really good like written story. I think not a lot of them aged well at all. But 1999, the one about the bear in Canada that like kidnapped children and like did like satanic rituals with him and stuff
I
like
haven't
that.
heard of that one.
And it's written from the person. It's good. Creepcast just did an episode on it a couple months ago.
Okay.
I suggest you watch it.
That's a Meat
that's,
Canyon and Wendigoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good. It's well written. Or at least for the time period it was, but yeah, I miss that. I miss creepypastas kind of because they're not really a thing anymore. I don't really feel like kids or like young teenagers, like for me I was 12, so I was a kid. I don't feel like people that age really have like scary internet stories like that anymore. Like they get exposed to so much. Like one thing I was going to mention earlier is I really appreciate being the age that I am and being born in the year that I was, because I got to experience life not before the internet, but as the internet was growing, you know what I mean? And I don't know about you, but I was on the computer super early. Like we had a family computer, and I was going on fucking like websites as early as probably like 2004, 2005.
I don't know if I
And
was on
so,
that early, but I get it. Like, I feel like we were at a good age where, like, that time, 2004 and 2005 and earlier, was still kind of
mhm.
like the Wild
It was
West a
really
little more, I
infant.
guess you could
Yeah,
say. Like, it was
exactly.
still fairly lenient after that, and of course, to a point where it stopped, maybe 2018 or so, where people just started going crazy. But
Yeah,
there was
the
a point where it
cleansing
was
of the
still like
internet.
lenient, but it was also like brought up at school, like, hey, whatever's on the internet can never be erased. Like, so like there was like stuff known about it, but it wasn't all like, okay, now we're going to talk about data privacy, and now we're going to talk about this and that, whatever, and how you can get hacked, and what you can and
Mhm.
can't say, and what's going to get you in trouble, and what's going to get you canceled. Like, it was a good time, is what I'm trying to say.
It was. Yeah, absolutely. No,
it,
I really
yeah.
miss it too because like that was peak content. Like, early internet, like pre-YouTube days, I don't really have like any huge nostalgia for that. But I've been watching YouTube since 2005. You know what I mean? Since
Mm-hmm.
the literal birth of the platform. And so seeing it grow, I've like, of course I watched television growing up. I watched movies and stuff like that, but my main source of entertainment has always been YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been watching that forever. And so seeing it grow was awesome, but also seeing the downfall. Like, I still watch YouTube every day because it's just in my bones. But I know damn well that I don't like what I'm watching a majority of the time, unless I'm looking for specific stuff. Like, oh, I want to learn about, like historical facts about some band I'm into, or like how this one company got brought up from, infancy, or like speed running videos or lost media videos or stuff like that. Like if I'm looking for a specific topic, then I
Mm-hmm.
can find content I like. But for just general like availability of funny, interesting, and informative things to watch, it's so cleansed nowadays.
Yeah.
Like I would say the last good year of YouTube was 2019. Because 2020 started. There's no one in there. You can go in. Sorry. 2019, that was like before the iceberg era. And I like icebergs,
Mm-hmm.
but they're kind of like. I think they kind of ruined the algorithm a bit. And I think there was something major that happened within the YouTube algorithm that caused it to be so dog shit, like pure dog shit,
Yeah.
around 2020. But, you know, like people can have their opinions on this all they want, but I feel like you should definitely be able to say offensive shit on YouTube, even if it's in bad taste.
Mm-hmm.
It is just like it's not a kids platform. You watch The Sopranos, they say the most fucked up shit on planet Earth. You watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's the most raunchy shit you'll ever see in your life. You go on YouTube, you can't even say fuck within the first 30 seconds. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm not watching Full House on Nick at Night. I'm here and I'm trying to watch something fucked up, and I'm trying to watch like, you know, like for example, like stuff like iDubbbz, Filthy Frank, whatever, back in the day, obviously they said fucked up shit for shock value, but the content was good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if you are offended by it or whatever, like I can totally understand like where someone would come from, especially with iDubbbz. But like it was better content, you know,
I
it not
just
being policed like that.
I would like to imagine iDubbbz has never changed. I enjoyed the older iDubbbz. I really enjoyed him. Like, I was
Yeah.
like an iDubbbz fan.
No,
Like, that's who I was.
yeah.
And then he's just meh. No. He is iDubbbz now. Eh, sucks.
Yeah,
But
no, the
yeah,
downfall of
thanks.
iDubbbz was really cringeworthy.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
Um,
we should also expect that too. Just being like, I mean, people back in the day had celebrities who they don't see their life as much or whatever, right? And also, celebrities just straight
yeah,
up take gigs that their managers book them. People on YouTube have fucking content that they create, so it's going to change with whatever they want it to be, not not what their manager tells them to do. Unless, you know, I guess these days now, but I don't really watch YouTube the same way I did in 2016, where like I watched dedicated people or people I was dedicated to. Now it's just like,
Yeah.
like you were saying, like I need to look something up. Like I've been looking up self-help or like stuff like 3 like ways to form habits, like shit like that. Just like, so like that's what I'm looking at. And then besides that, I just listen to lo-fi, whatever the fuck music. And but it's just now, and like maybe okay, people have a manager and they'll say stick with this theme, you need to do this, and you're not really going to see their true personality. But I mean, yeah, there was definitely a change of people were going through their life changes because they're like, I'll be on YouTube forever, and it's like, okay, like you are, but people, you know, now I want to do documentaries because that's more mature. I don't want to be known for this anymore. That's, oh my god, that was a thing for the longest time. People started doing shit like that. They're like, guys, I'm gonna reel back from the funny stuff, let's start getting a little bit serious. Like I always hated when the YouTubers started doing that shit, because I'm like, all right, I'm not watching anymore because I still am here for the funny stuff. So what the fuck? At least like with the TV show, you know, they at least have to stay consistent, because that's the point of the TV show. You can't just change a TV show's whole premise and way of presenting itself just because one guy doesn't want to do it that way anymore.
Yeah, and it's also like people watch YouTubers because they apply to that particular niche. And whenever they try to change it up, a majority of the time, like there are some audiences that are perceptive, or but a lot aren't. You know what I mean? So I was talking about this in your Discord server just the other day. The Review Tech USA just deleted his channel. Yeah, he's been having a severe mental breakdown for like a year plus. He became a lolcow, essentially. And it sucks because I grew up with Review Tech USA. I've been watching him since like 2013. I loved his channel, and I almost kind of saw him as a role model because like he was pretty firm about his beliefs, or at least I thought he was. And there were some things I disagreed with him, but I just appreciated that he had conviction in what he was saying. And he usually, like, a lot of people used to say he just regurgitated news and stuff like that. But I always felt like he had something to offer. But, I hate to interrupt, but my fiance says hi.
Hey, fiance. Or should I say Joe Mama? Okay, no, that, I don't know.
Joe Mama?
That was stupid.
She's getting her hair done right now. That's why she's not here.
Oh, I thought you picked her up already.
I like awkward humor.
She's getting her hair done.
No. So I dropped her off.
Oh my gosh, she's getting her hair done this late? I know it's like a different time zone where you're at, but like she's
No, it's still pretty late. It's later for me than it is. No, it's earlier for me than it is for you. But it's still pretty late. Like, it's almost dark. Actually, it is dark. But yeah, no, I mean, his entire YouTube channel blew up, and it really sucks. And he really, like, one of his main things is he tried to change the format so much. It was not working. He was a news channel. He should have just stuck to a news channel. Or maybe, God forbid, he should have reviewed fucking tech, because that was in his name, but he never did. Like, rarely ever.
Dude, you just gotta do USA, two things. Made, like, 6. Review and tech. And USA.
But I feel like people... See, this is why I wouldn't want to do YouTube as a career, like, exclusively. I would definitely want to do it, like, on the side. And unfortunately, like, I don't really have the attention span to keep up with it. But, hell, I don't even have the attention span to keep up with doing music. Yeah.
You don't need to keep up with it, really, if that's not what your channel's focused on. Like...
Yeah, 100%.
You could find the one niche.
I like channels...
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I like niche channels who, like, focus on one particular thing. But, yeah, no, like, he's just a pure example of someone who just completely relied on the internet, not only for income, but just, like, his validity. And I am increasingly getting concerned that... Now, I'm not an armchair psychologist. I'm never going to claim to know what's going on in his life. And I feel like it's a little disrespectful to assume that. But I was a huge Etika fan. I used to watch all of his live streams and shit. And I literally was there, like, wondering where the fuck he went. And I remember, like, when he went missing, and everyone was like, holy shit, like, where the fuck is he? And then we found out he committed suicide, you know? And that was a huge deal for me, because I saw him as a huge role model, much like I did Rich from Review Tech USA. And I get concerned about that, you know what I mean? I really do. And it bums me out, because, like, that, when Etika died, for me, that felt like genuine grief. I know it's, like, kind of parasocial in a way, but I would feel the same way if, like, Jackson died or whatever, Andrew or Kaya, if they tragically died, I would, you know, I feel you you're friends with Jackson and Kaya, so you definitely would be.
No,
pained,
I'm stronger than that. Oh, yeah. My
the
friends
fuck
died. I
up.
would just give him a good send off. I'll say he lived the best life he could have. No, I'm just kidding. I would obviously be very sad if they...
fucking. It's like. He's like Jackson's dead. Mariah's just like, shit, I guess I gotta go eat like 5 bloomin' onions.
Stop! I would be like, this is for you. Do everything in their memory, like anything even remotely related to them. Like, Kaya dies. All right, time to eat a full turkey. Entire turkey mukbang.
Time to bully AI.
I'll put it on I'll make a video. That'd be so fucked up. Hey guys, Kaya just passed away, so today on my YouTube channel, I'll be doing a mukbang with this turkey and reminiscing over my good times.
And it's also 3 a.m, and we're also trying to summon him.
Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and hit the bell. That'd be so fucked up.
Oh my god, guys.
Look at who showed up at my front door.
Oh my god, it's Kaya Orson, guys. I cannot believe this right now, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so we can get this Ouija board to work, guys. Come on, guys. You gotta say guys every 5 seconds.
If you don't hit it
Sponsored by Raycon, guys.
If you don't hit it in the next 5 seconds, I think I might die instead, so just go ahead and do it. By the way, who's Dude Perfect? Do you know them?
Oh, I never watched them, but I believe they're a trick shot channel. So like they would like throw basketballs in like crazy ways. You know what I mean?
Okay, because
and I guess at some point they wanted to build like this huge building.
I know they're like normie YouTubers, like those are people that like everyone's
100%.
probably gonna know. But I was at not Starbucks. What was that place called? Smoothie King the other day. They have like a collab with them. And I was like, what? I mean, like, not what, because I know they're like huge YouTubers. I didn't really know what they did. I thought they were just like boys. I didn't really know what they were. But yeah, they're like, you can
didn't know
buy
the allegations.
Yeah, you can buy a $1 cup if you buy a smoothie or some shit. I don't know. It's like a Dude Perfect cup. So just look. I don't know if they'll still have it, but I think it's just so interesting because I feel like there was a point in time also YouTubers every once in a while used to have like the big YouTubers used to have like products come out and like they sold them. That was like maybe in 2018 or something. Like maybe it was more makeup artist people too. They were like collabing with brands and putting stuff out and doing stuff like that, but you don't really see that anymore, which is really funny, especially because kids are fucking obsessed with like Fortnite and Roblox, right? So is there not a YouTuber for that? Or like, I don't get it. Like I would assume that would be it, but I don't really see any like collabs anymore unless I'm just not looking or I'm just getting older and I just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like there's the obvious ones like Lunchly and shit like that.
But that's like their own
but
like
I can't
brand though. Like I mean like collabing with like Cheez-Its. Like fuck, I'd collab with Cheez-Its any day of the week. Like shit. Give me a brand deal with Cheez-Its. I'll sell Mariety show Cheez-Its. I don't care.
I would
mark it up to $10. I don't care. Do it.
I would do anything to get cheese nips back on the shelves.
Oh, cheese nips are so gross.
Like
Those
anything.
and the whales, no.
Yeah, but they're lost media. Whales? Sorry.
Yeah, whales are basically like cheese nips. Disgusting. They may taste the same, actually. I feel like they taste the same. They taste grosser than Cheez-Its, but I didn't know a cheese... First of all, cheese nips is a stupid name. And second, cheese nips are gross.
Well,
And
it's
also,
not like you can
and
try them
third,
anymore, 'cause they're
third, I
gone.
didn't know they were discontinued. But
No.
I'm glad they're discontinued because the name and the taste. Because why? All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of discontinued foods like that I miss personally. That's an interesting topic within itself.
Yeah. I
What is it like? Oh, you know what? Monster had a soda. That shit was so bad for you, but it was so good.
I can imagine every monster thing's terrible for you, so that makes sense. I don't even want to think about what that fucking soda would taste like. I feel like it would be disgusting.
Yeah, well, you see, I was 15 and I was a really I used to be like literally a soda addict. Nowadays, I refuse to. I know it's
Soda
probably
addict.
objectively not good.
I know,
No, I
I know
was.
people.
Like-
I know people actually drink like a lot of sodas, but I've never heard anyone say it like that. So it just sounds really funny. A soda addict.
Yeah, it was disturbing. I would drink like 2 liters of soda a day.
Holy fuck, bro! Like I grew
Yeah,
up on
that's like
like
2,000 calories.
I grew up on drinking like Dr. Pepper only, like no water. I don't ever remember drinking water, but I don't think I drink as much as like 2 liters of Dr. Pepper a day. I maybe drink like 3 or 4 cans.
That was at my worst.
Holy
That was definitely
fuck.
at my worst. Like, I don't know why my dad let me.
Were you like
Well, actually, granted, I
big,
was sneaking the
chunky?
food. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I
Okay. I'm like,
I-
because the last time
I'm-
and the only time I've seen you, I'm like, oh, he doesn't look like he looks normal size to me. Like,
No, I'm thin now.
yeah.
I'm thin now. I lost the weight.
Bruh. Good, good.
I was severely overweight from all the way up until I was like 17, and then I got a job, and then I like lost about 100 pounds. But I
Nice.
never weighed myself because I never went to the doctor. You know what I mean? Ever. But
Also,
I
guys
would
just
say
don't
I
think to
probably
weigh
topped out at
themselves
like
either.
290.
Okay, okay.
I do now. I've been stuck, like, my thinnest was like 189 or something. Like, 2019 was my thinnest, and I was like a twig back then. And I'm gained weight since moving to the location that I'm in now because me and my fiance didn't really do a lot of stuff. And delivery food is huge here because we're in the city. So I was like, holy shit, I can order 7-Eleven in my house and it's cheaper than going there. So I would just pig out, and I was also smoking a lot of weed. So I gained like 50 pounds since moving here, but then I lost a good chunk of it. And I also like my job is incredibly physical. So I probably gained a lot of muscle mass. So now I have like my body's relatively thin, but I weigh like 230, and I haven't been able to get below 230, but I'm also very tall. I'm like 6'4".
Oh.
So it
Oh
kinda,
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, I'm like huge.
Well, there
Like,
are
I'm
people.
fucking
Yeah,
massive.
I was gonna say like there are people that are like 230 and like 5 feet. I'm pretty sure. So, so you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that first of all, when I was drinking only soda and stuff, like I don't know, I was never like I was a little chunky, I guess, like when I was younger, but I was never
Mm-hmm.
like fat, I guess you could say. I always feel like I had a little meat on me, but you know, I don't know. But I was never like skinny except until like one time in high school. But even in my adult life, I'm gonna jinx it now that I'm like saying it out loud. I've only gained like only this sounds like I said only, but this is maybe gonna sound like a lot. Like I've only gained like 40 pounds more than my average weight in high school, and then I lost about like 10 or 13 pounds. But I feel like now, even weighing like about like 30 pounds more than my average weight in high school. I know you're going to just gain weight as you get older, but I feel like now I'm like, oh, I could lose a couple more pounds, but it's so funny because like maybe it's just me getting older or what, but I'm like, yeah, I know like I have a couple extra pounds, but I feel like way better than I did ever than before, even though I feel like you know, everyone's gonna have their little insecurities. Like my thing is my face, like, you know, everyone always has their jaw lines and stuff. I've never had like the jaw line, so I always feel like my face looks chunky. So I'm like, that's my thing. But besides that, I'm like, shit, like I look really good. And it's funny because like that was like my one big thing. Like when I was in high school and stuff, like I hated how I looked. And looking back, of course, it's like, ah, ha, ha, you shouldn't have hated how you looked. You look good. But it's like, well, that's not how it works, especially when you're in high school. But it's
absolutely,
weight is so weird, and also it's just so crazy how it looks on different people, and some people also have like natural strength and they're just bigger people, but they're like truly strong and they look like they're fat, but I mean, not like you can tell fat between like strength usually, but sometimes there are some bigger people who are still pretty strong and they don't complain about, this hurts, that hurts, whatever, you know. They just get up and do it.
And there's also people there's also people who just kind of pull off being heavier set better. You know what I mean? Like for me, like, you know, I feel like 'cause it was difficult for me growing up because I had very low self-esteem. Even to this day, I still struggle with it. I'm still like, I definitely am like the most confident, most happy I've ever been in my entire life. But I always struggle with self-esteem and body dysmorphia, I think it's called, when you just like can't really get a good mental image of what you actually look like. And so growing up, because I was so tall, you know what I mean? Like I've always, ever since I was in like the 7th grade, I've always been super, super tall. And that's when I was heavy, you know what I mean? And so I always felt like I was fatter than I actually was. And particularly for me as a male, you know, like the places that fat goes for you is really embarrassing. Like I had man boobs, you know what I mean? And to this day, I'm thin, but I still have them. And I later found out that it's called gynecoplastia. It's because of like your diet. And I grew up on a dog shit diet. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And so like I'm even at my thinnest, like at 190, I was a twig, but I still like I can feel like I literally have boobs. And I was like, I didn't match up in my brain, and I was always like super, super you know, horribly like down on myself, like super low self-esteem. And I think that had something to do with, you know, being really poor and stuff like that, and just, you know, kind of feeling like an outcast. But you know, like some people, I always felt like I never looked like my body could handle being heavier set. Like I kind of feel like my body's natural, because I'm like, I've said this a lot, but like if you ever saw me in real life, you'd realize that holy shit, this guy's like really big. And it's because like my arms are huge, like my hands are huge, my feet are huge, I'm massive, like I have a really large build, but I feel like I inherently was supposed to be thin, you know what I mean? And so my body had the proportions of a thin person, but I was overweight. And so the way that the body fat came off of me, it just looked horrible, as opposed to somebody who I grew up with who has always been heavier set. They look sharp, you know what I mean? Like the fat, how it's in their face and just in their body, it's like, yeah, that's how, you know, it's kind of how they're supposed to look, you know what I mean? So some people, like, I feel like that's just kind of how their body's meant to be. And as you were saying too, like it doesn't necessarily, I mean, it definitely reflects health, you know, being overweight definitely is a concern when it comes to like, you know, diabetic and not getting enough exercise and stuff like that. But, you know, like there's a lot of people out there who are heavier set but are very physically capable, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know a guy, uh one of my one a great homie that I grew up with. He's heavier set, but he works, or at least did work, for a moving company. He's super physical. He's out of his house all the time, just building shit. And he's like, that's what he does, and you can tell that his body like is accustomed to that, and it doesn't look like he's lagging behind. Maybe he might not be able to run as far, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not physically capable at all, especially when it comes to like pure strength.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like if I grew up that way and my body was meant to be heavier set, I wouldn't be as self-conscious about it. Like I literally, I probably weighed at most like maybe 280 pounds, like at my heaviest, and I felt like Boogie 298. You know what I mean? And just the way that fat hangs off of his body, you can just tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had a friend, still a really close friend, even though I haven't talked to him a lot. One of the biggest inspirations in my entire life. He is such an excellent human being. At his heaviest, he was like 450. He was huge, and he had constant health problems. He had like a metal hip. He had seizures constantly. Constant epilepsy. Like we would hang out with him, and then we had a phrase in my old friend group where if we saw an ambulance going by, it was like, oh, that's probably him because he probably had another seizure.
Oh God.
I remember. Yeah, I was fucked up. I remember I went to go. He had brain surgery. I was there when he had brain surgery. Got a piece of his brain taken out. That stopped the seizures entirely. Then he got put on a lot of medications, and he beat the ever-loving fuck out of me one time because he thought I hit his dab pen.
Oh my God.
Poor guy. Yeah, no, he punched me straight in the face. Still an amazing person. I forgive him for that entirely. It was just the medications he was on. But he lost so much weight. He's probably thinner than me now. He at his highest, he was like 450.
Mm-hmm.
All of that weight gone. He went to the gym. He was hardcore. He wasn't able to drive before because of the seizures. He can drive now. He's got literally he's got like a Camaro. He's
wow.
He's awesome. I swear, he's so awesome. He's such an amazing dude. And like it really goes to show, like, for him, like, I could tell, like, his body wasn't meant to be that big. You know what I mean? Because it hung off of him like it hung off of Boogie.
Oh. Hello. Hello. Oh, did it disconnect? Disconnect? Hello?
Sorry about that.
Alright. All good. So it hung off.
But,
it hung off
just,
of him. Sorry.
Yeah, it hung off of his body. It just didn't seem right. You know what I mean? It's like this person wasn't genetically meant to be 450 pounds, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it really, I think if you come from like a family of heavy set people, I think it definitely is like kind of built into your genes a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's just my theory.
No, I get that. I mean, like, even though, again, I still think my face is round, too round or whatever, which I know other people may see it and they'll be like, ah, you're stupid, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I think it's round. Another thing, which I've been feeling a little better about, but it's like, yeah, my arms have always been big. And I've even looked back on the old pictures too, and it's like, ladies in my family just got the big arms. I've never, like, all the other girls had those, like, little, the arms where it's, like, the same length all throughout, but I got the big hams at the top, and I'm just like, well, that's how I look. Maybe I'm stronger, I don't know, but, yeah, I mean, even, again, when I was my skinniest, it's just like, I guess that's just, you know, I always just have said it like that, too. I'm like, ladies in my family, they're all like that. They all got the arms. So, yeah. But, I mean...
It's really...
No, I was just going to say, like, I mean, as long as you keep up and I guess, you know, you feel like you look good, that's really all that matters. And, of course, if you're in a good weight range, which that's probably controversial to say, but I think the general consensus for my audience would agree that yeah, you should probably be at a lower weight rather than a higher weight, because I don't like
for sure.
promoting obesity, sorry, but
No, like there's a limit to body positivity.
yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's most reasonable people think that.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
it sucks. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, bodies
feel
suck,
really bad.
brains suck.
Yeah, brains are definitely a huge issue. Oh man. It you know, I was thinking about what you said about like the arms and stuff like that. It's I've been living with my fiance for 5 years. 5-year anniversary coming up in January. And living with her, like I always knew, being a male, the body dysmorphia for a male is definitely different for a female, and it's really heartbreaking because like I don't care what your opinions are about like, you know, social norms or whatever. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not really opinionated at all. I like Green Day, SpongeBob, and Xboxes. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, Xbox. So sorry. I
when
got
it comes
excited when
to,
you said
like-
Xbox.
no, you're good. When it comes to like, you know, just like females and that pressure of feeling like you need to look a certain way. You know, I know for a fact that my body dysmorphia came from primarily my weight and kind of the shape of my face too. I always felt like I had a double chin, blah blah blah. And to this day I still can't see it. And then, you know, my fiance will show me a picture and he's like, are you stupid? You got like a Giga Chad chin. And I'm like, I still don't see it, you know what I mean?
Aww.
And I'm sure a lot of that is just like, you know, my fiance being supportive, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you know, there are certain like insecurities that I notice that don't like apply to men. Like, for example, a lot of men aren't insecure about having what they perceive to be like broad shoulders, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of women out there who, you know, feel really insecure about that and they want to seem like thinner, and then that leads to stuff like anorexia and stuff like that. It's really heartbreaking that you can't, like, for a lot of people, that pressure is so intense. And like as a guy, I can say, like, you know, I know a lot of it is self-esteem and just your self-worth and feeling like, oh, you want to look this certain way, not for the sake of attracting like an opposite gender, but for the sake of just feeling confident within yourself. But like, I'd say a majority of guys don't want that like picturesque model look of like, oh, you gotta fucking have that Victoria's Secret look. Like, I've always been of the personal opinion that like natural beauty comes from like just the complement of someone's brain and their soul and like what their body it complements. And it's just, you know,
Yeah.
my heart just kind of breaks for especially like teenage girls who are like, oh, I need to look a certain way, and then they can't love themselves for that. It's just like, I know what it feels like to not love yourself, and those little things like, oh, the shape of my feet or my arms or my face or in my, like, for some reason I always hated my mouth. Like, I have dimples. I thought that was weird. Like, I thought I looked weird.
No.
Just like, you know, it sucks,
Hey, you
man.
looked weird to yourself,
Like-
technically, but probably not to everyone.
Well, I guarantee you, when I was 15, I did definitely look weird. Like, I looked fucking
No.
strange when I was 15.
But
When I was in 7th grade, my
Sorry.
dad gave me these glasses that made me look like a fucking secretary.
what? Those were probably the ones
I had,
covered
like,
by
long-
the insurance or by the. If you had we had Medicaid, the ones covered by Medicaid.
Yeah, we had we had some really shitty, you know, state health insurance, and
Yeah, I remember my fucking
And not
like,
being able
first
to
pair
choose
of
your own
glasses.
glasses.
Yeah, they only gave us like 3 options for the glasses, and they're just like, this is what's covered. Everything else costs money. So I like chose the one pair, and they're like fucking like wide and like rectangle, and then eventually they broke, and then I had to start taping it, and and then I was so
Oh, yeah.
excited when I could finally like like I had a job, and I guess like I could pay for like a higher level one. So they said, oh, you can get these, that'll be partially covered by the insurance, but it's like $40 more, or so, I don't know what it was. So I was just like, okay, and I like got the money, and I paid for the better glasses. I was so excited.
I gotta tell you, glasses from insurance are such a fucking scam, because I've been doing this since before I started buying my own glasses, but essentially like from the beginning when I started paying for my own glasses. You get your prescription from the doctor, and then you buy the fucking glasses online. My glasses that I'm wearing now currently cost me probably $60.
Yep. Mine.
And I get them from Zenny Optical.
That's exactly where I get mine from. I just ordered another pair, and Nico just ordered some too. But I've been using the same prescription for like 2 years. I need to go back, but I don't have insurance right now. But
I've had the same script since 2018, and I have insurance, so I have no fucking excuse.
Yes.
Have you ever messed around on Zenny's engraving?
No,
you
haven't.
can engrave stuff into your glasses.
I think the one I got this last time didn't allow engraving, but yeah, I've seen the option on there, and I'm like, I don't really think I need it, and I just have left it blank.
Here, I'll show you what's engraved in my glasses right now. You're gonna geek. So my brother got glasses in 2020, and he taught me about the engraving, and he got Big Dick Energy engraved on his fucking glasses.
On the Zinni glasses?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that's what's engraved in my glasses right now, and for like, I don't know if you're going to edit the photo in, but definitely for like audio listeners, I have Weezer engraved on the side of my glasses.
Audio listeners?
One of my old pairs of
funny.
glasses, I didn't pay for the engraving, right? But for some reason when I got them, this must have been a mistake. I got the words Captain Gun engraved on the side of my glass. Like, who the fuck is Captain Gun?
Yeah, wait, maybe you thought it was a funny joke, and then you forgot what it was after that or something?
I might have been really, really high. This was like, I was like 19, so I could have just been really high. But like, Captain Gun makes no sense to me. Like, what the fuck is Captain Gun? If I was gonna engrave something on my glasses, it'd be something like Weezer or like Baja Blast or like this fucking foreskin or some shit like that, like the word circumcision or something like that. Something funny and weird. Urethra.
Circumcision. What the fuck, bro?
Something dick related.
Oh my god. Yeah. Those other ones would have been funny. Yeah, Captain Gun. That's kind of funny though. You didn't make that into any like a meme anywhere. Just one of those.
I don't know if I ever did
not a
anything
meme,
with it.
an inside
It was
joke.
so long ago now. An incel joke.
Yeah. And I'm only not posting I'll send a picture. I'll maybe cut this part out, maybe not, but I will send a picture of what I looked like with the glasses that were from they look normal, but those shits fell off my face all the time.
Yeah,
only because
I
this
understand
picture may be
completely.
public in places, and I don't want people to reverse image search it. But I'll try to find a similar picture of someone with glasses. But yeah, it's just like wide, like, and it looks fairly normal, but those glasses are not supposed to be as big as they are on my fucking head, bro. And those suckers, since they're the plastic frames, I don't know if I didn't know how to take care of glasses. I mean, they were my first pair, but like I used to let them get really oily, and they slid off even more, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and then so I had to wipe them off and everything. But oh, that picture's so creepy. Oh, I'm looking like I did that thing where I was like in middle school or whatever school I was in then, and I was just like look directly straight into the camera. Ugh, I look very creepy. That's what I was also doing, one of those fake smile things.
Yeah.
I was so...
Yeah, I'm not... I feel like when I was younger, I used to be like a little bit more photogenic. But nowadays, I'm not. Like, I don't take pictures of myself like that. You know what I mean?
I try to take yeah, I guess you're right. Me too, because I try to take pictures and I feel like I look gross. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Oh man.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we've been going at this for about 3.5 hours.
It's actually 3 hours and 9 minutes, but yeah, you're just about right. 3 hours, 9 minutes. We had a lot of good talking. This will cover me for a while, so you know, I don't know. It should be good, nice episode for people to sit back and relax with. Hopefully, I feel bad for being off on all the episodes, but it's okay. We got Zag here, and we appreciate
good.
Zag. Do you have any social medias or anything similar that you want to shout? No, tell me. I'm not asking you. You have to tell me.
Holy fuck. Jesus. Okay. So the only thing I'm even remotely active on now is my 2 YouTube channels, which is ZagTheWag and ZagTheWag 2. I don't post regularly at all, but you can go ahead and watch the shit that I have posted on there. I'll probably, funnily enough, be making some videos on my second channel about just like, you know, stuff that I'm interested in, like hobby stuff. It's going to be like low effort videos. So if you want to check that out, then by all means. I used to have music posted back in the day on Spotify, but that's not up anymore. But if I do make any more music, I do have some stuff in the backlog that I've yet to release. So I'll post those on my YouTube channel so people can check them out. But yeah, thank you for having me on. This was great.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's been a long time again, so I feel really bad. It took a while to get you on, but I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we were able to talk to you, and we should definitely have you on again. That will be great. Maybe we can have
For sure.
a little less of a serious talk. Like near the end, it started getting less serious, which is nice. It was some good stuff, but I was like, I don't want him to get all sad during it. Mitch, you can do whatever you want on your episode, but you know, you can do whatever you want. But I don't know. It's hard. Like your situation's hard because you have the whole backstory, so you have to go into that and then go into the other thing.
Yeah.
And you didn't even say all of it either, so I was just like, oh crap, like I don't want you to have to like repeat all, but it was awesome. We got some good I got some good content out of this episode, so it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, sorry for being a little too serious, I guess. I don't
no,
know.
I didn't mean it like that.
Storyteller.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I just didn't want you to like feel bad because it's like you've explained these things like 2 and 3 and 4 times already sometimes, and
Don't worry.
and like I know the stuff, but then it's like, oh shit, he's gonna have to explain it again just because of the nature of the show. So
You're good. It honestly, one thing I've had to learn to accept about myself is that I like hearing myself talk. So
well, that's good.
that's just kind of like, you give me an opportunity, then like I'm just gonna fucking rattle it off. I probably could have done this for another 3 hours if I really had the time, but I don't.
I'm actually surprised. I'm like actually tired because it's like almost my normal bedtime coming up, but I'm actually surprised. Like I feel like usually when the recordings go on this long, more near the end, I'm not as enthusiastic. This one, it was kind of flipped, I think, because we started off just of the stuff I already knew, so I was just letting you talk, and then after that we were doing a little more back and forth with our interests. I was like, oop, perked up.
Yeah, no, it was a slow start, but I really I haven't done a podcast since I interviewed Monkey Jones, Simmy and Jimmy in 2020, and that was dog shit. Yeah. But now, like, no, I feel like it was really cool to be able to, I think we had really cool conversations we were able to bounce off. So
yeah, this was really
time.
fun. This is awesome. Well, thank you for coming on, and I forget. I say it every time again. I always forget how I end it. So, goodbye.
That's about it. See ya.
Goodbye.
You're listening to
The Mariety Show.
The Mariety Show.
The Mariety Show.